Oh my gosh,
Um,
Shogun,
why?
you're huge.
Yes, I am
I
huge.
I gotta move you. You're blocking little Corvus here. Blocking our mod.
Okay, and that's my fault, Al. I wasn't the one that made me huge. You made me huge.
Oh, hi. Sorry, I don't know why Nightbot is like being a bully to you for spamming emotes, but who cares? Anyways.
Turn off Nightbot. Turn off Nightbot, and you'll be fine.
Yeah. Anyways, good evening and welcome all. I'm Heather LG_BT, variety streamer, and I do art. Uh, Hopefully you are all doing well. I have a few disclaimers before we dive in fully to the stream. Since this will be a very heavy stream. It's night for the lighthearted to say the least. Uh, there will be topics of self-harm and or different forms of abuse. For those who did not read the Google Doc that I posted in my Discord server, this is what will be discussed today. Google Doc along with screenshot receipts and audio receipts at the end of the stream because it is a 42-minute audio. And yeah. So if just, warning in advance if any of you have suffered with previous or currently suffering from abuse or any type situations and you need to step away and take a break, feel free to do so and come back later because after all this heavy stuff, I'm going to abduct either Corvus or Shogun here and play Repo because we need cheering up after this. But anyways, I hope you're all doing well today. Hi. I
Yeah, you're
have
gonna have to go. You're gonna have to kidnap. You're gonna have to kidnap Corvus. I need to sleep.
Yeah, well, I'll just message you and bug you. Also, I have Gigi in my lap. She's also here to support me. But I
Uh-huh.
hope you all are doing well. And I will let it be known on the record because um this may very well get me sued by the VTuber named Aspirin Jasena, who I lived with for 6 months and was in a VTuber group with her. We had some of their friends and whatnot. Uh, she has threatened to sue me if I ever spoke out publicly about this because she doesn't want this out because her main image is being nice. So I think that it is just finally time that I get the closure and peace that I need. So just like in advance, I'm sorry if I don't necessarily read chat a lot because it is very anxiety inducing for me. This is very stressful uh talking about, but hopefully you all understand. And thank you all for the new chatters who are in my chat. I hope you enjoy my future streams that aren't so grim and sad and depressed. But yeah. Uh, Also, Shogun is here for anyone who is wondering because he is a key witness to what Aspen did to me because I would usually be so terrified of her towards the end of it that I had to sit in um voice chat literally 24/7 because I was afraid that she would do something to me. And so, hence, all audio recordings that are either presented in this VOD or later on when I have access to them from the people who were willing to take it with my consent, uh, they will be uploaded later. All of the information, like screenshots and whatnot, are all unedited as of right now. Aspen has made a Google Doc about me in advance, and so I don't know what she has on me, but I can guarantee with certainty that all of this is not edited.
Probably fabricated stuff.
Probably. There is Kool-Aid.
Oh, this is
Huh.
Mhm.
Yep.
Bear with her. Bear with her, chat. She gets distracted easily.
Yeah. Oh, Danny Bear VT, thank you for the follow. You
Danny, hey, what's up?
you
Thank you,
came at
thank you for
a
coming in.
you came at a really depressing time. I am so sorry for that. But enjoy your free
More,
emotes.
more than likely, they came here because of me.
Yeah. But also, thank our lovely mod Corvus in disguise of his wife Luna today. Uh we have Corvus in spirit. He's the little black glowy orb thing that you see on my desk just glaring back at you and whatnot.
Why
But
don't you have one for Luna?
hmm?
Why don't you have one for Luna? Like a little
Well,
elf thing somewhere.
because I haven't found one and Corvus wanted this in case he ever needs to take over my streams and need to
I
like he possessed my soul and whatnot.
just find a caterpillar.
I'll
Anyways, we're
try.
getting off. We're getting off topic though. So
Yeah. But yeah, that was Corvus, so if I get distracted by him coming in, it's probably for him trying to give me a hug and cheer me and whatnot. But let's move to our gameplay thing. And I have well actually I could just stay in here and only show it until the receipts come up, which I'll probably do because unless people want to read it, but I digress. So I
just put it up.
will hmm?
Just put it up on the side somewhere.
I mean, it is pretty big, bold text. And if they want to read it themselves, I mean, I guess I can link it down below. Hold on, give me 1 minute. Thank you for the head pets, Netro. I need some.
I mean, unless you want to read that big bulky text you did.
Well, I'm going to read all of it regardless because it's mainly to keep me on track and have things lined up in the order that it happened. Because I also did forget to add things because I ended up having anxiety like at 3 in the morning because that's when I did this. So.
She's an insomniac, people. That's normal for her. She's lying.
Yeah, I have chronic insomnia, but recently I have been getting a full 8 hours of sleep. So for
That's what
anyone who wants to read the Google Doc themselves while it's said in this stream, if you're able to access that link, that is the Google Doc. Basically, what I'm going to be reading and adding on to all that good stuff and posting later on my Twitter and Blue.
I can confirm though that she rarely gets more than 3 hours.
Yeah.
So that's an improvement.
But with that being said, everyone, I will go ahead and read from it. Again, sorry in advance if I don't necessarily read chat while reading this, because my main focus is just to get this out there and not get too distracted. And there are very heavy topics, and some of the stuff will be very personal, but it is necessary to have in this because it explains a lot of things and forms of abuse that Aspen put me through. So we have to force her to sleep. They have. All right. So, are you ready, Shogun?
Go ahead.
Okay, I'm pretty sure you can see what I'm seeing, right? The Google Doc.
Yes, I can.
Okay. So, uh, if this sounds like a story thing, I apologize. That's just how my brain works. So this is my experience with Aspen Dracena, the Ice Dragon VTuber. I want to make that clear that all information in this document is nothing but the truth and backed up by both screenshot and original unedited proof and audio. Some audio is not accessible at this current time, but will be when I have my hands on it. Warning. There are topics of self-harm and multiple forms of abuse along with other things. View at your own discretion, and I mean this 100% with serious. If you feel like you can't listen to this, either take a break and come back later when I announce that I'm gaming, or I don't know, tough it out, I guess, if you're one of the brave ones. But yeah. So, hello everyone who might read the Google document or, as in this case, be in my stream. This is about my experience with the female VTuber known as Aspen Dracena. For starters, I want to make it known that it was never my original plan to speak about this so publicly. Though, after much thought, constant unnamed and directed attacks by her, and after much sought after advice from trusted friends, I think that it is only right that I end this harassment and abuse once and for all. It all started back in December of 2023 when I was first introduced to VTubers. I was living with my now ex-boyfriend of 2 years who was both mentally, physically, and sexually abusive towards me. I had made a post wanting to disconnect myself from God's Minecraft server, and if I could not find a way out or have friends who would simply be there for me to ease my suffering. Lo and behold, I met my first friend in the VTuber community named Rosh Morningstar. Also, names that I mentioned, other than the ones which is clearly Aspen, Ocha, and Ultraviolet, they are innocent in all of this. They are simply here for context and key witnesses. Bear in mind. Rosh Morningstar. He was my first real friend, and he was the one who later introduced me to Aspen Dracena, Ochapup, and Ari Lumen, now known as Ultraviolet. At first, everything within the group was fine until my ex started to get upset over the fact that I was making connections and was slowly starting to become less and less afraid of him. It was around April of 2024 when Rorsch and Aspen started trying to convince me that I needed to get away from him after my ex threatened to dismember me and tell me how he planned to murder me if I continued to push him. This was also around the time when my mother started contacting me, since I never lived with her and grew up being passed around to different family members, where I would suffer from mental and physical abuse, to later being put in CPS, which for those who aren't in the States is Child Protective Services. And this happened to me in 2013, which I know most of you will probably be like, why is this necessary? But it will be later on. But this is just some bit of background for the mental issues that I currently suffer. During my time in CPS, I ended up being, let's say for context and not getting banned on Twitch, R-worded by a boy in my neighborhood at 17 and told that since no one saw it, I automatically had to be lying, to then being, touched, not very appropriately by my foster dad.
You're fine. Take your time. Take your time. All right.
uh, my foster dad after my foster mom passed. You may ask how this is relevant to Aspen. Well, I'll tell you. It's because during this time, I developed a mental illness known as DID, or dissociative identity disorder. So, when May of 2024 came, I ran away from my ex in secret and flew to LA to see my mother, only to find out I had been lied to and found out that she was living on the streets and only wanted me to be there with her so she can earn money. Yes, my own mother wanted to use me, her own daughter, to gain money, meaning she was expecting me to sell myself, basically, in other words. When I found out, I immediately contacted Rorish and Aspen while trying to escape my mother, who was actively trying to abduct me. And through some miracle, the next day I was on a plane and headed to where Rorish lived. Um, I also didn't add this in the Google document, but my mother, while I was trying to contact Rorish, basically told me, why don't I just take out your SIM card of your phone and kidnap you? Because since you have no friends, clearly, no one will know if you ever go missing. So, yeah, to say that I had a rough upbringing is, well, just minor in the least. But, uh, now, Aspen may claim she's a psychiatrist, and she very well may be. However, through my very, very vulnerable mental, overall tired state, she tried giving me not only me, but my mother and my ex a diagnosis on why things like this were happening to me. I also want to state, hold on. I lost my place. uh, I also want to state, uh, though, with great sadness, Rorsch went on a hiatus of July 9th, 2024, just 2 months after I had stayed with him for a total of 5 days. I won't go into too much detail as to why he did, but this is very important to know since during my stay with him, Aspen was trying very hard to convince him that it was in quote unquote my best interest to stay with her and help her mother. Both Rorsch and I were very hesitant to do so, especially me, since I hardly knew her then, and I already had plans to move into an apartment and work close to where Rorsch had told me. But since I was weak, I reluctantly agreed, and thus I was on Aspen's doorsteps within hours. I would like to note that Aspen will most likely try to argue that I agreed to pay her money for rent, etc. However, she knew I didn't have a single penny to my name and never agreed to such terms. Plus, in screenshots that I will show after the stream, um, she clearly expressed that all she wanted me to do while staying with her was figure out what I wanted to do with my life and to take time to heal. After a month, Rush started to uh, drift away from us, and both started speaking less and less to us due to personal reasons to which I 100% understood. Aspen, however, started to become jealous and would complain slash yell at me how it's all my fault he's not talking to her, and that, in quotations, this is what she actually said, and I'm sure Shogun here has heard it too, since he was in video calls with me when sometimes she would say this. She would be like, why is he only talking to you? I feel hurt. I'm not as strong as I act to be. And he was my friend first. This is bringing up so much PTSD with my old ex best friend. Um, and I later, through the advice of Rorsch, went and tried to explain to her how I suffer from DID and that he was helping me better understand myself. And for those who cannot guess her response, it was simply this, in quotations. Well, I don't care if everyone. Well, I don't care. Everyone has mental problems, and that doesn't excuse his behavior, and you're probably faking it anyways. Because there are certain times where, my personalities do switch, and unfortunately, majority of the times, I can't control it, and I don't know when it will happen. Sometimes it's very easily triggered, and being in a stressful situation and continuously moving around, it was triggered very often back then. And it hurts like hell to try to open up to someone and then they still don't listen. And during this time as well, I was applying for all sorts of jobs, but being where she lived in a tiny, tiny town in the middle of nowhere, it was hard. And when I finally got a job, it didn't last long. I ended up having to quit due to an on the job injury and with Aspen telling me that too was my fault and that I must have done it on purpose because who gets hurt while working apparel at Walmart? So, for those who don't know, I believe this was just slightly before I started streaming. And I got hired at Walmart to do apparel. But while I was working one day, it was very understaffed and I was in the back of Walmart and one of the crate things fell on my foot. It got very badly bruised, thankfully. I didn't get any broken bones or whatnot, but I couldn't walk on it. And the manager advised me to go on break, but or that I should probably just, either change to a different position, like within the store. And Aspen basically was like, "No, you're not going back there. You obviously can't be trusted." And so she made me quit. And that happened. And I got blamed for it, even though it was per her advice that I should not go back there. She was also upset that I didn't give her my first check from Walmart, which was $400. And I used it for like my phone bill, helping with groceries, getting me some clothes because I literally left with the clothes on my back when I left Texas and ran away and tried being with my mother and all that. And I quite literally left with hardly anything. And I would like to state that during this, my ex was constantly harassing me, like 24/7, messaging me, calling me, sending me pictures of the cats, be like, if you only just listen to me, I'll give you money, or I'll send you pictures of cats more often, or, just do this and that and whatnot. And after Rorsch had been gone for a few months, Aspen took it upon herself to message in his Discord server, which I have screenshots of this, and I will show them afterwards. That he had abandoned his promises to her, all while promoting that people should leave his server, come to a server that Ochapot had made that had me, her, Ultra, and Ari as its mods. And if they wanted to see VTubers who were still active, of course, all on their own free will, that they should abandon his server and come join ours. And if there's one thing that I've learned about Aspen, is that you do as she says and give her everything she asks for. She's a sweet angel. If you don't, she'll turn out not so nice. And I know from experience, because I was unable to find another job and started streaming, or trying to at least. 24/7. Which in... Hi, Indigo. Thank you for the hug. In July of 2024, with a computer she let me borrow, so she claimed, in quotations, because this is actually what she said, "I hardly use it anymore, and you want to stream, right? So you can use it as much as you like and make money." Because she wanted me to make as much money as she could, because she was under the impression that I owed her anything she wanted for simply getting me out of the abusive relationship that I was in. Also, my voice sounds weird. So, Corvus, can you please give me a glass of water? I don't think crying helped me much. Also, to get back on track, sorry. Sorry if this sounds very straightforward. I am reading the Google Doc because I know that I would just get overexcited and whatnot and distracted. So that's why if I sound like auto-tuned or whatnot, it helps me sort of like relax a bit. So sorry if I don't read chat for those who just came in. She started to get upset that I was becoming more and more popular and had 2 payouts within the first 3 months of streaming on Twitch, which this is what Twitch was actually paying us more to stream and not just barely scraping by with pennies, which I wish they During this time, I was making more and more connections, streaming 3 to 4 times a week, hosting collabs, and meeting new people, and Aspen didn't like that. She started streaming, and due to internet problems, uh, we couldn't stream, uh, at the same time. So she would tell me to change my schedules, so that way she could stream 5 to 6 times a week. And yes, that's fine and all until she started making me cancel my advanced already planned streams. Oh. Sorry. I didn't see them. I'm looking at a screen.
I know. I'm just always.
Open your eyes, Heather. Open your eyes.
Ah, that feels so much better, even though I don't like water. But yeah, you could ask Shogun here. I would plan my streams like weeks in advance. Get them cleared by her. She would agree, like, yeah, that's good. You could stream on those days and whatnot. And then the very day that I would go to stream, would tell me to cancel it because she wanted to stream that day, even though she already approved it. Also, she said that if I didn't, I would be ruining the lives of her authors and that I'll be putting her into debt since I'm being selfish and not getting a real job. I forgot to mention that during everything, my stepdad, who is my half sibling's father, had to send me money like monthly just to buy food and to simply keep my phone bill on. Since according to Aspen, I was taking advantage of her and her poor elderly mother and not giving them any form of money. It got to the point that I was hardly eating because she would either hide the food I bought or helped pay for, or would let it go to waste if I had cooked it, so she tried arguing later on that I was, quote unquote, trying to poison her and couldn't be trusted. Which would be ironically funny later on. Mainly for me, because I was the one poisoning. Anyways. She also made me get into a relationship with a 31-year-old man who I didn't know, by the way. Had no idea who he was. And, because she thought that he was a nice guy, and that if I didn't, that I was a manipulator and a quote-unquote bitch for wanting to break this poor man's heart. And she would later blame me for him becoming obsessed with me, and to the point he was stalking us and not taking no for an answer. For those who followed me, like early on, if any of you remember a person named Jeff the Duck, that was that man. He would literally come into my streams and try, asking personal questions. He would oftentimes dox me, which is why he got banned, because not only was he making me feel like very unsafe as I already was, he was also putting Aspen and her mother at risk. So after a few months, around September, near my birthday, she started to become abusive towards me and blamed her life problems on me, and everything that her mother did was also my fault. I would have anxiety attacks so bad I started being in voice chat 24/7 because I was terrified of her. She would scream at me for hours for dumb things that didn't happen, or things she accused of being my fault even though I wasn't there at the time. It tried to sabotage me multiple times by either breaking things, leaving messes, or lying to her mom, who I was taking care of, as well as the house, like cooking, cleaning, making sure everyone ate, getting the mail, buying groceries, etc., etc. Basically using my money that I basically didn't even have. I was trying to keep my phone bill on, and I couldn't do that because I would buy groceries because her mom would go hungry. Because Aspen didn't want to spend a single penny on anything but herself. Like, she would buy skincare and snacks and whatnot, and then complain that it was my fault that I didn't stop her from getting stuff, and just would blame it on me. Finally, my mental health was so bad, I started thinking maybe I should just disconnect myself from God's Minecraft server. But other, uh, mm, but others out of because I was basically misery, I guess. Uh, oh, the reason why. Sorry, I was trying to figure out what I wrote here. Uh, she would tell me I'm worthless and that I'm a burden on everyone, and uh, that everyone that I met were pretending to be my friends because who would be friends with me, and that they're only friends with me because of my body and that I'm creepy and weird. Her favorite lines were, and this was witnessed by Ishogun, and as well as Suki, but Suki is not here. As and the people who witnessed it aren't here because one, they have things to do, and two, if Aspen does come out with this legally, I don't want them to face her wrath. So this is for their protection. Uh
Oh, so you're okay with me going getting harassed, though, huh?
well, you're our main key witness. You kinda can't escape this, Shogun.
I see how it is, though. I see how it is.
Her favorite lines, this was like a few before I was leaving for Japan out of my own safety, was quote unquote, when you go to Japan, I hope you end up getting R-worded and know that you'll most likely be sex trafficked because you're a skinny, pretty white girl, and they see that and will definitely take advantage of you, as well as you should marry that Japanese friend of yours since you aren't allowed back in this country ever again, and you aren't worth anything else once you are gone. I'm a born and raised American citizen, and she would tell me I'm not allowed back in my own country simply because she didn't want me to be back here. And at the time, we thought my friend was 43. They're really like in their 30s. But yeah, she would continuously tell me that, like, oh, you should go marry them. And I bet they're going to take advantage of you because who, like, allows some white girl they don't know to move in with them? They're only going to think about your body. Yet she literally did just that, ironically. She invited me into her home not knowing me, and is kind of like a hypocrite sometimes, in my opinion. Also, she once tried to push me down the stairs, and another time she lectured me for 3 hours, which Suki so happily provided audio for after the stream. Unfortunately, that's only 42 minutes long out of the entire 3 hours that I sat there. All of which had an active witness with my consent in the VC. Suki who heard everything. She chased me up the stairs as I struggled to breathe from an anxiety attack. Quite literally, I had to call Belle because I hadn't realized that Discord disconnected us after 3 minutes because of Wi-Fi. And I had to call him because I could not breathe. I literally mid panic attack for like 2.5 hours ran up the stairs because I could not take it anymore. She was just screaming at me, and it was a nightmare, and I couldn't do it. While this was all happening too, she threatened to kick me out of the house in -3 degrees.
No, degree.
No. Degrees, not degree. Weather.
Nope. It's
Don't
on
clip
recording,
it.
though. It's degree.
It's because I'm nasally right now.
Yeah, okay.
3-degree weather outside, which is freezing, by the way. It was during this time that she started to tell people lies about me. It was saying that I was giving her cancer from stressing her out and giving her PTSD for simply being in the same house, and how she would ruin my reputation as a VTuber if I didn't give her money, and that I was putting her in credit card debt, and so on and so forth. Thank you, Deli, for the head pat. It's much needed. When I tried to seek the advice from Ochapup and told him what was happening, even with her making me want to disconnect myself from God's server, he said that I should put myself in a mental hospital, and that since I didn't talk to him much anymore, that even though he won't quote unquote take sides, that he was going to believe Aspen more, says I shouldn't take advantage of her, and Ari kept telling me that they would believe me only for me to find out later that they were Aspen's spy in my Discord server and were telling her what I was saying as well as what others were. And this is why Shogun, I think, was the one to ban Ari, now known as Ultraviolet, because they changed their name during all of this. Out of my
Oh, the
Discord server.
minor?
No, no, no,
The
no.
minor.
No, the one that was accusing. Also, I'm glad that I remember this. Suki, openly interests himself as a femboy, and as a joke, I say, "Hey, look, it's the femboy." You know, that's me and everybody's little inside joke. Ari was the one who was like, "Oh, you're sexualizing him by calling him a femboy." Remember that person? The one
That
who
wasn't me. That wasn't me.
No, you were in there too because they're the ones that use
Yeah.
TTS.
They were there for probably a minute, but that wasn't me. I didn't have mod back then.
Well, when I gave it to you, I made you ban them. Because
No, you made me ban a 12-year-old that kept trying to not 12, 14-year-old.
Oh, right, because Aspen also had a 14-year-old invited into my server because for some reason Aspen was a mod temporarily. Because I think she asked Swimming to mod her because apparently I agreed to it when I didn't. And they kept trying to make a 14-year-old come into my Discord server, which, for those who know me, I am a non-safe for work streamer. I do not allow anyone under the age of 18 to be in my server or watch my streams. However, Suki was a slight exception because he was only one month
One month.
1 month away from being 18, and I knew who Suki was. Like, we had like conversations and we're like playing games and whatnot. Suki says, and keep in mind, I do not care if I'm being called a femboy, as many people call me that as a joke, and I just go along with it. I don't see the problem with being called a femboy, right?
He likes it. He likes it. He's lying.
Nah.
We're getting off
Also,
topic though.
yeah. Not distract me, Suki. Hold on, I need water. I'm dying. Girl, help.
Bro, use lick attack.
Bell. Check DMs. Hold on.
Not the Greek
Found
over
it,
here
the
sliding
audio
into
of
your
you having-
DMs.
Thank you, Belle.
Which audio is this?
Belle has the audio of me having a full-blown panic attack.
Oh, I didn't have that. I was gonna say I think you showed me that video.
It's 43 minutes long, so this is directly after the audio that Suki got of her yelling at me for 3 hours, which is also 43 minutes long. And it doesn't have his voice, but yeah, if you Nightbot. If you want to send that to my, I'll give you my streamer email, and you can send that to me that way. To see if that will work, because that's what Suki did.
Refresh this lady's page. Just getting pretty close. Nope.
Oh, what? No, not that.
Okay.
I didn't want that copied.
Jeez, how many pages do you have?
Well, I'm grabbing my email from mine and Suki's conversation and sending it to Belle. Because I don't want to type.
Okay.
Yeah. Okay, that sounds good. Also, thank you, Belle, for being here. Corvus, if you're still there, can you shout Belle out, please? And thank you. As well as later on Suki, because they're finally streaming! Yippee! Okay, moving back on. I'm getting distracted.
Oh my god.
Also, Belle, sorry if I sound nasally. I cried. I got a little emotional in the beginning.
Wait, why is Suki why did all Suki so deleted?
I don't know.
Who timed Suki out?
Ninebot, stop bullying my witness! Ninebot's bullying my witness! Okay,
I told you turn Nightbot off.
yeah. Da, 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 da.
Oh, whatever.
Okay, let me find back where I was. Oh, also, it was at this time I decided to leave the server that Ultra created that Aspen later changed to feature herself more and asked that I be removed from it as I wanted nothing to do with them anymore. But originally, so before the whole Discord server thing, we were originally a group chat. Me, Ultra, Aspen, and Ari, known as Ultra. Sorry if I keep referring them to as Ari. It's just what sticks with me, and that's how I was introduced to them. And I'm trying to address them properly. Although I may forget sometimes, it's just out of habit. What originally started out as a group chat between us four quickly became just the three of them because I left it after Aspen publicly humiliated me in a gas station in front of customers, letting all to hear how I was a quote-unquote monster, took advantage of her and her poor elderly mother, and that she was dying from cancer because of me. I found out later on she told them she had expected me to leave since she had planned it to happen that way, and that and that soon I would be all alone. Sorry, I'm dyslexic as hell. You bear with me. Now, most of you who have followed me from the beginning know of Austin Anime. Mainly Shogun knows of Austin Anime. He was a random chatter in my streams and later was a collab partner who later on tried to convince people that we were dating, and when it was proven that we weren't, ran to Aspen, who went to Twitter to tell people I was bullying and harassing a guy with autism. This will, like, be very important. Because I would like to state that's not true, as I don't like to bully others as a victim of past bullying myself. And I mean, like, cruel bullying. Like, I'll bully Shogun, like, playfully, like, what friends do. Because I see him as my VTuber older brother. He's, like, a meanie and whatnot. He's a bitch, but
I am a nice person. What are you talking about? She lies. She's slandering my good name.
I'm
Whatever,
not.
whatever left of my good name.
But I was basically harassing him because he's autistic. Afterwards, she would try to invite herself into my collabs, steal my friends, and go on my stream and belittle me in front of my viewers, which I'm pretty sure, Suki, you might have witnessed. Whenever it was me, her, and Austin playing golf with friends, she came on my stream and was like, "Oh, you're never going to be hired as an English teacher in Japan. You're not as smart as me. I have a degree, blah, blah, blah." Were you there for that? You might have been asleep, because this was, like, really early. Hi, Kuro. Hi. Sorry, Kuro's in my lap, and he's really fuzzy. He's a kitty cutty.
All I'm gonna say about Austin Anime is he's a sad individual.
Yeah. Which I'll show screenshots of the conversations later on, but Shogun, if you want for a split second, I believe I was asleep for that. Yeah, but you told me about it. Yeah. If you want to tell them what she told you about the whole autistic thing and what you heard on voice call, go for it, my dude. About how she's like that, "Oh, you can't be autistic because you don't sound autistic, and I'm a professional psychiatrist. I should know the difference between real autistic people and fake autistic people," basically. Girl, get off the desk.
Yeah, basically, I had a conversation with Heather. I was at work, going to work at least, and basically, she didn't know I was on the voice call, and pretty much told Heather that she was bullying a autistic boy who, by the way, is older than me and Heather by like 4 years, 4 or 5 years. I think he's like almost 30.
Yeah. Yes.
uh, um,
I was making macaroni at the time because I was hungry.
and then she tried to say that I'm not autistic, even though I have Asperger's. A lot of people know that I'm pretty open about about my condition. I have Asperger's, which is a social disability. It's on the spectrum though. But she tried to say that Austin Anime was also on the spectrum, but um, that was the reason that he could go harass people, and I said that's an excuse you can't be doing.
Yeah. Hold on.
But then proceeded to say that I don't sound autistic.
Yeah,
I didn't know
because I
I
was
didn't know
like,
autism.
I
Go
believe
ahead.
I had made the comment of, well, so is Shogun, and he doesn't go harassing me and trying to stalk me and claim that we're dating and whatnot. And she was like, and then you laughed about it because you started getting upset and that I was praying to any god that would listen, like, Shogun better not say anything because I was so terrified of Aspen. I didn't want her even knowing that I was talking to people because she might come after them. And then he was like, but I'm autistic. She's like, oh, you don't sound autistic. And like all that. Also, I just got the
She
audio.
tried to. She tried to say that I faked my autism test. That I didn't even take. I was given a test when I was a kid.
Yeah.
I didn't even take the test. They fucking studied me. Oh, my bad. They studied me for like gosh knows how long. They studied me for like
He
an
was
hour.
testing chat. He's been studying.
The government's tested me. I am 100% that guy.
Ugh. Note to self chat. Don't cry. You get nasally and dry throat. But
Don't
yeah.
cry in deep throat. What?
Like, I'm like nasally and like I have like a dry throat.
Oh, dry throat. Okay.
Would you think I said deep throat? Hell no. Wrong
I
stream.
thought that, I thought that's what you said.
Oh my god.
I heard it. I heard it differently.
Oh, that must be Gigi outside. I was like, where's that scratching coming from?
I don't know.
Uh,
Your model froze, giving us a winky
yeah,
face.
because I turned around. But getting back on track, guys. Oh, there was so much I could say about the abuse I've suffered at her hands. But even while typing this out, I'm actively, which I was, because this was like at 2 in the morning, I'm actively reliving the horrors of what she did to me, and it's making me feel or have anxiety, especially with her threatening to sue me if anyone ever found out about the truth and how she really is towards people. After I left, she also gave me 3 months to get my things from her house, only for me to find out she got rid of my stuff as soon as I left. And also tried to make me pay her $7,000 because she felt that she was entitled to it for taking me off of Rorschach's hands. And since I was basically living in her house rent free, because her mom, which multiple people heard, I'm pretty sure you heard at one time, with her saying that I'm a guest and whatnot, because this was what Aspen was trying to kick me out, and her mom was like, oh, she can't do that. You're just a guest here. You know, don't worry. All that.
Yes, I was. She was also the person that kept forgetting we had conversations prior.
Yeah. And introduced to you in a weird way, unfortunately. Which I won't mention right now.
I actually kind of thought it was funny for a little
Yeah.
bit, and then it got annoying to hear the same conversation played
Yeah.
over and over and over.
But yeah, so Shirley's a witness to her mom saying I'm a guest and I don't have to pay rent. But instead, I still paid for groceries, clean dishes, which I will have you know, Shogun was an active witness to me washing dishes one time, putting them up and cleaning, and Aspen would come downstairs and be like, oh my gosh, this house is such a mess because of you. You never do anything. You know, you're so messy. You just lay in your room all day and try to avoid me when I was literally in the kitchen with a dish in my hand washing it.
Don't forget the time she blamed you for the Drano incident.
Oh, yeah. So I actually have the screenshots of it, and this is where it gets slightly personal. Not that I'm embarrassed, but it's going to be embarrassing for her because of what she said and claimed it to be when you and me both seen it, as well as like Belle and other people were like, that's just rust from the shower drain.
Mhm.
So, for those who don't know, which I'll show you later on through screenshot evidence, Aspen tried to claim that I was a disgusting human living in her home who would leave quote unquote feces in her shower tub and whatnot, which is ridiculous in and itself because you can ask Corvus. I shower a lot. Like I'm very clean because of it's uh Corvus, how do you word it? Like a triggered response or something of anxiety or whatever. The reason why I feel like I always need to like clean myself or something. He says it in a certain way, but at this moment I don't remember what to say it as. But at the time of this happening, I had uh Shogun, Belle the Bleak, and Suki all in the Discord server. Uh because I was gonna go to sleep. I confirm Heather takes showers. She is not a League of Legends player. But anyways, I had all of them in there because I was like, I am not going to fall asleep until I have people here recording and having my back in case she tries anything. Because when I first made my original post, like back last year, about how I felt like I was worthless because that's what Aspen was telling me. Granted, I mentioned no such names, like at all. Sorry. And she kicked my door open at 3 in the morning, screamed at me like, how can you put our problems on Twitter? How can you do this? Now I gotta tell people that you're giving me cancer, blah blah blah. I'm gonna ruin your reputation. It's all your fault. All that drama. And I'm pretty sure they heard her say like, "Hey, Heather, don't use the shower tonight because I'm working on the drainage system because it looks like there's like rust or whatever in there and it's not working properly. So I turn off the water. I'm gonna let what type of chemical did she use again, Shogun? Do you remember?
Probably some off-brand Drano.
Yeah, cause you said cause it was like really hard on the thing or whatever.
It's corrosive.
Yeah. She said that she put that down in there, and I was like, okay, I won't, because I, one, already showered earlier during that day, and I was exhausted and weak because I was barely eating, literally sometimes couldn't even get out of my bed without feeling like I needed to vomit and whatnot because I was like malnourished and always like feeling dead inside. And I woke up to messages of her being like, how could you be so immature? There's water in the shower. I knew you took it, and you why can't you be an adult for once? And just blah blah blah. You'll see the messages later. And I told her, I was like, what are you talking about? I literally just woke up, for one. And two, I've been in a voice call, still am in a voice call, by the way, with these people. If you want to ask them yourselves, because they've been there quite literally all night, they will know. And she was like, oh, well, I don't care if you're in a voice call with those people. They take your side anyways, even if you were lying, because you probably bribed them and whatnot. And, you know.
I think also I think I can pull up that video actually. I think I actually do have it
You
on my old iMac.
I know you did send it to me, but I also posted the screenshots of this Google Doc, which I'll pull up. Yeah, Suki was there. But yeah, and
Yeah,
that
no,
happened.
you did fall asleep by the way. You fell asleep in the voice call and she woke you up.
Yeah, because guarantee I would even turn on my camera sometimes for Belle or like Shogun or whoever it was to have eyewitness proof of me sleeping. Because God forbid I didn't have anyone in the voice chat and it would just all be hearsay. Because one thing that Aspen was that Austin unfortunately was not was most of the stuff she did verbally because she knew if I ever came out about this, she didn't want there to be any traces of her actually saying this stuff because she's smart. Austin, on the other hand, not so much because he left quite a bit of evidence.
He made it quite easy.
it made it easy for, there to be evidence. But yeah. And basically she tried to get, so whenever I came here, Corvus, because I left Japan, because the friend that I thought I knew, because I'm starting to learn that I have horrible judgment of the character sometimes.
Sometimes.
Listen, don't criticize me at this moment, please. Save it for Reaper. He was, while yes, sometimes nice, he was also very aggressive and would kick his dog and scream at people passing by. And the last day that I was there, he, first of all, made me work on a puzzle that I didn't want to do for a week straight. So, granted, I was annoyed because I didn't want to do it anyways. And I was doing this just basically to get him off my back. Got mad that I said that I was tired, and he's like, "Well, I'm tired too." And threw the puzzle that I've been working on for a week onto the floor, broke the frame, flipped the table, just started screaming at me. And then I got so terrified, I contacted, the gang, like Shogun, Corvus, and Frankie. It was like, I need out of here now. Like, I'm scared. That I came to live with Corvus and his lovely wife Luna. And so that's how I got, like, as Corvus would say, the rescue. I'm looking at you, Corvus. Anyways, that's how I met them.
I mean, it's pretty accurate.
And when I first met Corvus, you can ask Corvus if he just wants to jump in here and give his, uh uh thank you for the cats. His commentary on how I arrived here. And like, I would actively sit on the floor with knees to chest, like off to the distance, and not sit in chairs. You wanna know why I did that? Because I was not allowed to sit on like furniture when I was at Aspen's place. I didn't even have a real bed. If I wouldn't have bought myself a tiny little $15 futon mattress off of Amazon, Aspen would have let me stay that entire 6 months sleeping in a chair that didn't even recline because she, quote unquote, I wasn't fit to have a room. Which I forgot to also mention this. Aspen, whenever she was trying to kick me out, she was like, "Well, then get out of my room. You're not paying me money to live in that room. It used to be my office. So you deserve to sleep on the floor in the living room because you're not a real human being if you're not going to pay me money." Basically. And I believe I remember telling you that as soon as it was happening, Shogun. It was either you or Bell or Suki. I don't remember. But
You told me, and then I told a couple people
yeah. But
to
I
try to
was,
get you out of there.
yeah. So I was very much used to sitting on the floor, being out of the eye of people, and or was, I guess, halfway broke me in that. Technically, I still lay on the floor because one, it's comfy, and I have a little blanket cushion on the floor because I watch videos and TikToks while he's streaming sometimes. I'm just a gremlin behind the stream. I'm also a mod, but yeah. Um, yeah, I was very much just not acting very like much like a human being because I was treated like I wasn't one, and it was very, much of a natural response for me to automatically just, oh, there's a room full of people having chairs, I'll just sit on the floor then. Corvus is like, I know cats better than people. She came to us like an abandoned kitten that has been across the highway and kicked by people and thrown into a river. God damn, Corvus. I know my hair was greasy then, but damn, I'm just kidding.
Your
Yeah.
color's gotten much better too, though. That's a plus.
Yeah, I sent a picture to Shogun of when I was at Aspen's place, and I was pale. I mean, I'm white, so I'm pale regardless. But I was very, very pale, which now I'm happy to say that I look like a normal white person. Um, Corvus, Kuro is in one of the bins doing God knows what. If you want to get him and trade him for Gigi, who's more well preserved, behaved. Basically,
Never have I ever heard that before in my life.
you
Well
well
preserved, well
preserved and
behaved.
behaved. My brain was scratching for words. Okay.
I love how
Marlo is
one would be deceased, a deceased cat. The other is a good cat. So you're there. You go, folks. There you go, folks. Her options for cats: dead or the other.
hashtag beholder. G. Someone was like hashtag behold, but yeah, the eye of the beholder. Um, but also, Corvus, since
All
you're in
right,
here,
there
do
we
you
go.
want to just give your audio input since you are technically on my desk?
There we go.
He's in vent, or I guess right next to it.
All right, I'm setting the screen recording. By the way, turns out they're also on my
Okay.
You hear me, Heather?
Yeah, I heard you. Also, well, you saw the. You know that Belle just sent me the audio of me having the anxiety attack after the exact same audio of Aspen lecturing. I was straight. What was that sound?
That was my PC deciding it.
Oh no,
No, that was
Shogun's thing made a weird noise, so I was like, "What's that?" Like, huh?
no.
Pure orange
That
cat
is
energy. But also, chat, I'll let Corvus talk to you for a moment. He's the little demon void thingy. Tell them how, like, whenever I first got here, how, like, withdrawn from.
Was I not descriptive enough?
Well,
Has everybody not rescued a kitten that's ran across the highway, been kicked by people, and
probably not,
oh, damn,
but.
good. Yeah, but like, she was pretty much she was scared of her own shadow. Like I literally would just poke at her with a stick while she was sitting on the floor behind me, or in the corner in a rolly chair that I moved in here for. It took her about 2 weeks to actually start opening up about the same time as kittens.
Or just full on
Once they're
any
around
sudden
you,
movement, I would flinch.
yeah. The hardest part was making her go to sleep. Like she didn't sleep for shit. And I wasn't sleeping at that time much either. But like I would go to sleep and then she would still be awake by the time I woke up.
In my little gremlin.
And also like says she was no, like she was
I was 108 pounds. I'm now like 120.
that's not much better, but
I mean,
you
I'm
have a
gaining
high
weight.
metabolism.
I mean, Corvus can vouch for me. Ain't nobody can say that I don't eat here.
No, like she does so much.
Yeah.
To be fair, I still have to yell at her for not eating everything she makes, but like,
I eat.
I eat from that too. But
Yeah.
like, she was literally just like I could put my fingers around her wrist, like
I think I got. Oh, it's
no. That's
Shogun.
me. That's me.
Audio recordings. Oh yeah, I forgot. Like before I even went to Japan, that's when I met you too, and I warned you, like, hey, please don't say anything. Aspen's here, and I don't want her like yelling at me because of anything you say. Like I was very much.
And I mean, like, yeah, I was there. None of the yelling. Really confused because you were always like, from what you told me, like she was a horrible person, and then I heard her mom talking to you, and she just seemed like
Such a sweet lady.
She seemed like your standard grandma.
Like her mom is so nice. Somebody. Her mom, who unfortunately had a very car accident, recovering, as far as I know, from Aspen. I hope she does better. And honestly, the main thing that I want to get out of this is one for basically her to just leave the streaming community as a whole, because who knows how many times she's treated people like this. Like, I remember when I was in the group with me, her, Ocha, and Ari. It was me and Shogun, or me and Suki in voice chat, and she invited people into it and then automatically banned them because she tried to, once she got free art for them, she was like, oh, they were bots and tried to scam me and all that type of stuff. When I talked to those people, they're like, no, she asked us to make art for her and all that. But and I just getting off topic a little bit. Sorry, once I get to rambling because of anxiety, I just ramble. But I was at the whatever, she claimed that I owed her $7,000 because when I had money, because the one thing that the Japanese friend did give me 1,000 US, like, help me out. I admit I did buy a few. I messaged her because I was under the impression she still had my stuff. Granted, this was like late January, so it wasn't even like a month and a half. Whenever she gave me 3 months, and I was like, hey, I'm willing to, pay you money for you to send me like my small items if I have a PO box. Would you be willing to do that? And then just automatically out of nowhere, she was like, oh my gosh, you're contacting me. It's triggering my PTSD. You're making me so anxious. I can't believe you do this. You're taking advantage of me by talking to me. And why would you think I'd help you? Until you gave me money, basically, all that. And I was like, I'm willing to give you however much it will cost. I'm not asking you to do it yourself, because she tried claiming that I was asking her to pay for it herself when I wasn't. And then she just ignored me afterwards when I all that. And I was like, well, I hope you have a nice day, I guess. Just keeping it civil. And also when the day that I left for Japan was Thanksgiving Day here in America. So like November 28th, quite literally Thanksgiving Day. I was in call with Shogun, Belle, Suki, and Corvus. And, I was excited because I was like, oh, thank God I'm finally leaving. But I was also nervous because I ordered an Uber. Uber didn't pick me up. So I had to have her mom, drive us to the airport. Aspen gave me what she claimed to be a motion sickness pill. And from the motion sickness pills I've been taking for, Hogwarts Legacy, it looks nothing like that. And I want to add that she told me one time that all the medicine in their house, because it's her mother's cabinet, are all expired. Expired. So never to use any of it, and just to buy whatever, medicine I need from Walmart, because it would be better, because she didn't know how old it was. Gave me a pill and was like, here, this will help with your motion sickness. And since I was distracted, I took it, and let's just say for the next day, I was throwing up, crying, could barely even move because I was physically weak, because she gave me a pill that was most likely expired, and I quite literally got poisoned by it. Which is ironic and funny later on, because she claimed that I was trying to poison her food. It's funny because she ended up poisoning me.
Well, here's the funnier thing about it. I'm pretty sure you've also taken an expired actual motion sickness pill here, and it didn't affect you in the slightest.
Oh yeah, because that was from.
Yeah.
Yeah, didn't affect me at all. So it's what she claims to be motion
Okay.
sickness.
Yeah, and that was more just accident because we didn't look at the expiration date, and we're like, huh, well, damn. Yeah, and it didn't affect you in the slightest.
Yeah, so Heather wholeheartedly trusted a pill that she was given, a mystery pill.
I was distracted. You guys were making me laugh, and I was worried about getting to the airport on time because I didn't want to stay there any longer.
I would have just thrown it out the window.
Well,
I wouldn't
also,
have even taken the pill.
I did tell you how her mother was very skittish while driving, so it was very jerky, and Corvus knows from experience, I get motion sick in the car very easily.
Yeah.
And I was not fixing to drive 2 hours into the next town without having some form of medication and not dying, even though I died later because of the consequence. But
You know what that's called?
hmm,
You should have just taken the plunge with the 2 hour drive and not taken the pill, because you were out of commission for like a full week after that.
I was like very very sick. And I was like on back to back airplane flights. I think I was like 4 hours from the city I was in to another one, and then a 12-hour layover, and then a 16-hour plane ride again, and then 2 hour. Like it was a very long trip, and I was dead for the entirety of it. I couldn't sleep on the plane because like just even the slightest bit of motion made me just want to vomit. And I'm sorry if I'm getting graphic. It's just, eh. But
All right.
I guess I will wrap up this Google document and then talk more about stuff and show like receipts and then play the audio clips and whatnot. I'm sorry if the audio clips is long, but it's my evidence and I have to show it as as such, because in case she does try to sue me, I need physical proof. And this VOD will hopefully be my evidence as I go to court. So guess what, guys? You're going to court with me. No, I'm just kidding. But I do want to take a moment and thank everybody who has been here and supported me and have given me head pats and hugs, because coming out with this, especially in the beginning, it was very hard. And I don't tell people about my past often, especially from my actual family. And I just want to say thank you all for giving me the chance to tell my side of the story. It means a lot because for the longest time until I met these guys, I thought that I was the crazy one and that maybe it is my fault, which is why I originally made that post on Twitter. But so reading from the Google document, of course. In conclusion to this Google Doc, I want to say for a final time that I want no hate to go towards Aspen Dracena, Ochapup, or Ultraviolet, aka Ari. My intent is to tell my story and to save others from her, as well as finally get some much needed peace and closure. I'll be making the stream. And also, I will be uploading this as a highlighted VOD here on Twitch, and as well as uploading it to YouTube for people who did not make it to my stream, or for those who just don't want to read the actual Google Doc. I will now post all the evidence I have, since most of it was either edited by Aspen before this or deleted, or in Ocha's case, has since deleted their Discord account. So the evidence that we currently have on Ocha is all from months in advance before he just up and deleted his account and whatnot. And with that, I wish everyone who has taken the time to read my story, or listen in this case, a very, very heartfelt thank you. I know that no matter what happens to me, I will continue to be my best self for all of you to see, whether that be now or in the future. I will not be harassed off the internet by others, and will continue to speak up for not only myself but others as well who may be facing similar instances. With that, I bid you all a good morning, good evening, and good night. Yours truly, Heather LG_YT. And now for the evidence. Court's in session. Get your pins out, bitches. No, I'm just kidding. I will now switch over to gameplay. That way you guys can see the evidence. Attention on your screen, people. You can still see this, right, Shogun?
Yes.
Okay. So, this is going from the order that Shogun gave me. So this is going to start off from Austin whenever he was like, his opinion or evidence was that I claimed that I said I loved him and whatnot, and that was proof enough that, we dated and whatnot. Basically, that's just his screenshots of him basically saying like, I'm sorry I upset you, blah blah blah, me and whatnot. And then here is Aspen. This is the shower incident. I may read it because I don't know for how long people will need me to be paused in order to read it themselves. But this was November 5th of 2024. So we already know that Shogun, Bell, and Suki were witness to this. They can give you their testimony of I did not leave. I was quite literally asleep. Like, I woke up to this message, basically. She's like, Heather, I asked you very simply last night not to use the shower and that I'd have it fixed in the morning. I had drain cleaner in the shower because it has been backed up very badly. Oh, it was drain cleaner. That's what she was using, Shogun. That's what I couldn't remember.
So off-brand Draenor.
Yeah, it didn't work. The shower, in fact, got worse. And, yeah. She was like, this time of year, for the sake of your own skin, it's okay to skip a day of showering. It's actually better because of the cold sucks and the moisture out of the air, and your skin will start cracking if you bathe too often. Now she's starting to sound gorgeous. Bam. But anyways, you can surely go without bathing for a few more hours so I can fix the drain. This is getting to the point where I'm going to have to ask you to not use anything without asking first, including the shower. Which she already was like trying to stop me from showering like at all in the house. And I had to ask her mom, like, is it okay if I, like, take a bath? Because she didn't want me using anything in the house. She didn't want me using the food, even if I buy it. She didn't want me using, you know, the TV, taking a shower, doing my laundry. She didn't want me, like, to do anything, basically. And she's like, you're still continuing not to clean up after yourself, leaving me to wash your dishes, which is not true. Because we just heard Shogun basically agreed to me that I was doing them like most of the time because nobody would be at the house. It would be just me cleaning up after them. And you and my mom both use more than I do, which yes, me and her mom would eat more because I was the one buying food for her mom to eat because she refused to help us with groceries, and she would be like, well, I don't know, like, fine, I'll eat it. And then when we make her a plate, she'd leave it sitting in the fridge for weeks until it was quite literally molding. And we would have to throw it out and then blame us that it went wasted when it was her portion of the food that she just didn't eat. And it would get frustrating at times. And she's like, when I'm the only one in this house who has a job and doesn't have the time to play your personal maid, you are here on borrowed time. I'm struggling how to figure out how to pay my bills this month because I'm so low on money. The least you can do is listen when I ask you to do something and do your own dishes. Simply rinse the dishes and put them in the dishwasher, which I do. I mean, even Corvus has seen me do dishes sometimes, even though I admit that sometimes I just sit and walk away from them. But that's a different situation. I still help out. Here's the basic things I'm asking you to do. You're an adult. You should know how to wash your own stuff. Blah, blah, blah. And then this is where I come in. Oh, yeah. And Brandon Aspen is like, I won't give a direct age, but she is significantly older than I am. And she would always use the fact of, I'm not your mom. You always act like I'm your mom, which also I forgot to mention. During this entire time, I have been messaged by my older brother's dad. So, my stepdad, technically. And, Corvus is like, for the record, I want to point out she has been looking for and just got a job since getting here, does her own laundry, and yes, does dishes and cleaning. Thank you, Corvus. Nice to have a crow in my corner. We also send her into to pick herbs and cook. They do! I'm the hired help. No, I'm just kidding. I do also mow the grass, collect duck and goose eggs, I get heavily judged by a chicken named Greenleg, and I pet cats. During this
That's
time, huh?
I was gonna say that's more so your pleasure than anything else, though.
I mean, to be fair, yes, but during this time, I was messaged, and I was under the impression the entire time my mom died because one of the things my mom used to guilt trip me into seeing her was that she had cancer and that she didn't know uh how long she had left. And I didn't even get to tell Aspen because Aspen would be like, "Oh, you're gonna end up just like your mother. You're gonna use men to your advantage and steal people's money, and you're gonna end up just like her." And the entire time in my head, until very recently, I was like, "So I'm gonna end up dead, basically." And she would constantly be like, "Oh, you're gonna get sex trafficked, blah blah blah." And only recently did we just find out that my mother was perfectly healthy and alive because she added me on Facebook with a picture I took for her background that I took while in Japan. That's the only reason how I knew it was her because nobody else would have the picture that I took. Like it was kind of weird. But until then, I thought my mother was dead, so I took this like very personally. Cause she was like, "Oh well, you're just gonna end up just like her." But anyways, I'm getting off topic, and Shogun's not stopping me from doing that. I'm pretty
I
sure he's
mean,
falling asleep.
do you want me to? Because I'm just letting you just you rant at this point.
I mean, you can, but I don't care anyways. Also, thank you for the head pats.
Run away, guys, run away.
And this is where I comment. I didn't even use a shower after you told me not to. I actually fell asleep soon after, and oh yeah. Because also, this is when she was like, "Oh, you don't even use a toilet like a human being. You go in the shower and whatnot. That's why there's stuff all over it." Which it was rust. You can ask like Shogun. Like it was very like rusted. Like it's very obvious the difference between human feces and just drainage, like rusty, like old. Because their house was like 100 years old, by the way. And I even
Yep.
showed Shogun it. Like when she put the stuff in there, I'm like, "Shogun, I'm showing you this because I have a feeling she's going to do something." Did I not say that?
Yep.
So he saw it. And I was like, basically, I fell asleep and I use toilet paper just like a normal human being would. I'll try washing more dishes. I've just been getting distracted easily these days because I'm trying to make sure everything is going well with getting my documents. Oh yeah. Mm. Oh, Corvus like if I would have found it in my shower, I would have. Yeah, so clearly I don't do that because Corvus just said what he would do, and I don't think I'd appreciate that. But also, I forgot to mention, but for those who have been in my stream for a good while, everyone here knows I have a heart condition called a type 1 AV blockage. If I get too anxious or just anything in general, my heart acts up and I get exhausted very easily sometimes. I've talked with it about Corvus because I ask him like health related things. I'm like, if my vision's flashing, what does that mean? Because I get concerned if my heartbeat goes like up too quickly or goes too slow or whatnot. And I was like, my heart's been acting up, so I'm trying not to push too hard. But I'll be gone around noon today and maybe be back tomorrow, so you'll have some peace and quiet. Because I quite literally had like some random person. Oh no, Corvus. I mean, not Corvus. Shogun. This was the time when. This was also around the time when I met that one random person on Twitch who wanted to be friends, and I would rather spend the night at a total stranger's house than stay there with Aspen.
Mm-hmm. I remember that one. I
You
remember
can ask
telling
it.
you. I remember telling you you were stupid for that too.
Yeah. So this proves that I would rather touch a complete stranger that I messaged once and spend the night at their place than stay in a house with Aspen because I could not guarantee my own safety. So that
Yeah,
ended.
she entrusted her life to a stranger, and I just said no, that's stupid. And then she said, I said, don't do it. And she went, oh, I'm already in the car with the guy. I was like, what are you doing?
But I am happy to say that I am still alive, and the guy was relatively nice. I mean, he bought me dinner and dropped me off safe and sound. Most of the time,
He would
I
just
say I don't know, just so you guys know. Yeah, that's true. Corvus is not a licensed apothecary. He just plays one on TV. Quote unquote. And then Aspen would be like, I don't shower as often as you do. You don't smell bad. If you're using the shower for your own personal debate, basically, and I'm standing in dirty water, and I'm the reason why the shower's backed up and all that. And then she was also like, the shower needed to sit for over 8 hours. I told you I would fix it in the morning. You did not listen to me. It was a simple task, which she clearly put ask, but I'm not gonna judge people on spelling words because I'm dyslexic myself. And I was like, I didn't
I
even
will.
touch the shower though, like at all. I was asleep on VC. So that was a whole discussion. She ended up ignoring me for the rest of that because I was like, oh, because I went to her room, knocked on the door. I'm like, I'm in VC with them still right now. You want to ask them yourself? Go ahead. She's like, no, I have work. You're just distracting me. You know, like all that. And basically, she left for work, and that was that. And this is Ocha's conversation. I'm pretty sure I have ones that are further up ahead of it, like down below, but it's probably out of order. This is whenever I told him how I felt, and he was like, I'm not going to take sides because I'm sure both of you have your issues with each other, and I don't really know what's going on since I'm not there, but I will say that Aspen told me that the GoFundMe was because you refused to get a job and you never paid her rent, which you agreed to when she offered to let you stay with her, which I showed Corvus because I wanted to make sure that, hey, did I agree to this? Because I was under the impression I didn't, and even he said that I didn't. We didn't sign any contracts claiming that I need to pay her rent or anything. None of that. I didn't even agree to it. Like, we didn't even talk about rent. We talked about, future expenses that may need to be paid if I, use the stuff, but I never used any of her things because I had my own electronics and everything. And, I don't think it's fair for you to live off her and her mom and to not contribute financially to the house. Streaming at the level you are, or that you were at, was not going to be enough to pay for your monthly expenses in the meantime, and you were using her equipment. It's not fair of her to yell at you and make you feel bad, but you haven't been fair to her either, and it doesn't seem like you're trying that hard to pay her back for everything. Honestly, I'm still trying to pay back Rorsch because if anyone deserves my respect, it's him. Even though, yes, I'm hurt that he, like indirectly put me in this situation. I promised him, and I did sign that I would pay him the money that I owe him for like getting me a mini fridge when I stayed with him for the 5 days. So yeah, I told her that I would pay him, even though he told me later on like, "Hey, don't worry about it. Focus on you right now." I said no, I will pay you because I promised. I made no such promise to Aspen because, as I stated earlier, all she wanted, and which will be proven later on, all she needed me to do was, heal and take this time finding out what I wanted to do within my own life. And I did help pay some form of money. It may not have been rent, but I paid for the groceries. I helped around the house. I did a lot of things. It might not have been rent, but it was something at least. Like, I wasn't just sitting on my ass 24/7, you know, being like a queen and making them do everything. No, I was actively helping when I could and when I didn't feel like I was dying from starvation and all this.
all right. Heather, do you still need me for this part? Because I actually have to go to bed soon.
Not necessarily. I mean, you sent me the audios and whatnot, so if you need
I
to
did.
go to
All right.
sleep, you can.
I was like, I'm gonna say I have to go. I'd love to stay longer, but I really can't
Yeah, it's like what,
because
7:24 for you?
yeah, I have to go to bed at least right now so I can at least get a nice nap in for work because I work a midnight shift today.
Oh, alright. Well, thank you for helping me and being a witness.
Just remember,
Also,
guys, the person in question, the bad person.
yeah. And Shogun jokes around with saying that sometimes, but I'm pretty sure you mean it this time.
I've never been more serious about one thing in my life.
Yeah.
Both
Also,
her and Austin Anime. Austin Anime is just as bad though.
yeah. Corvus, do you mind shouting out Shogun as he leaves my VC?
All right, have a good one, guys.
Rest well, Shogun. Thank you for helping me.
Thank you all who all came from my server, by the way. This means a lot to me. Honestly, this is very important, so I hope you guys all stay to the end. Have a good one. Bye.
Bye-bye. Where was I? Oh, also, I forgot to mention, yes, which Ocha states, like, where's my mouse? Can't see my mouse. But she did help me with, Job Corps, and I was going to do Job Corps. Until I got the offer to go to Japan, and I was like, I'd rather do that than stay in a random place and, like, work for, like, a random person that Aspen claims she knows. And I just didn't trust it, basically. And the person said that, because I even asked the person in question, I was like, hey, if I plan to leave for Japan, like, very soon, should I even consider this an option? Like, should I do this Job Corps thing? They're like, absolutely not, because you need to be in here for 2.5 to 3 years in order to finally leave. Because once you get in here, basically, you can't get out unless you do something to get kicked out of. And so I was like, if that's the case, I'm just going to humbly decline because I already have an offer to go to Japan and I'm going to take that. So they understood. Aspen, however, not so much. And clearly, by what Ocha's saying, went behind my back, told them that, that it was going to teach me, quote unquote, to be financially independent. And I didn't choose that option. So he can understand her frustration on the situation. And even though he's sorry for me feeling upset and hurt, and he doesn't want me to, harm myself, but you have to take care of yourself better. I'm sorry for your situation. I hope you can get better, get a better place soon. And basically, this is just me, basically telling him that I'm constantly helping pay for stuff. Like, I'm not just sitting around doing nothing. And, that she was staging things for me, and that, told him what she said about my friend, that I should marry him, all that good stuff. And he's like, I don't think Japan isn't the right option for you either, but again, I don't want to be in the middle of anything. I'm only going off what I've heard so far, and you haven't shared anything with me until now, so I don't really know the truth. And do you have any other proof than what others have said, like a recording or screenshot or anything? I'm like, yes. And it would have been made public once I was in a safe place, but now I don't even know when I'll be able to do it, considering I'll be homeless and on the streets. Because Aspen, while it was actively like -3 degrees, and not degree, Corvus, outside and like almost snowing, she was trying to kick me out with nothing but like the clothes on my back, because she was going to keep like all my blankets and stuff like in the house. Because according to her, like, I bought it here, therefore it's hers and whatnot. But, anyways. And she was like, legally she can't, but I would probably be better for you to find other arrangements for your mental health. But I don't know if you have any resources to do that. And basically, like, it's not in bold print that he's telling me to, go to a mental hospital. But when I called him, like, later on, he was like, well, if you're so concerned about your, your state of mind, maybe a mental institution would be good for you, because Japan clearly isn't. And how well do you know these people? Basically all that. And then, this is the post that Aspen made, after I had said that, hey, I don't know when, but I will come out with what you did to me and everything. She was like, very serious thread. Hey everyone, when someone is going through a personal crisis and triggering trauma, it is not your entertainment. It is not your place to spread rumors about what you think is causing the situation. Which, ironically, that's exactly what she did to me. I'm trying to tell people why I left the group chat was because of, other things, when later on she confessed to, like, it was her plan all along and whatnot. She's like, do you want a reputation of being someone who punches down on a person in crisis? Do you want the reputation of being someone who punches... Oh, she repeated that. And she's like, because that's what you're doing right now to both of us. Consider your actions and your impact on others, because right now, all you're doing is inserting yourself in a complicated situation with only half of the story. And it's funny that what she's trying to claim is exactly what she had did to me for 6 straight months. And whenever she told me that she was going to sue me, which you may or may not hear in the audio because I think the Wi-Fi cut out before she mentioned it, but she was like, well, I'm going to have to sue you, and I know you don't have the money to afford a lawyer, and even if you did try to countersue me, I will use my small business, because she has a publishing company, against you, and then I really will win, because she's convinced that she will win against me when, because for one, she doesn't know that I have all this evidence, because unlike her, I move in the shadows, because I've learned to protect myself, even though in the time I wasn't really doing it, because I was terrified of her. But this was back of November 30th, 2024. This was literally 2 days after I left. So I had probably just arrived in Japan, and she made this post claiming that I left stuff in the room that I was in, which I can show you. I've shown Corvus, I've shown Shogun live. My room was pretty much very clean. Right now, while I'm living with Corvus, it's like slightly messy, only because I need to find all black clothing for work and I rummage through stuff. But other than that, my room's decently clean. And she was like, well, you learn a lot about people when you buy their messes they leave behind. 6 loads of laundry, 2 bags of trash, 20 soda bottles and cans, some moldy open food. Thank goodness rodents didn't show up. Broken desk, 2 hours of cleaning, and that's only part of it. 6 months of this mess. It's that, which, from what I will show you, like, actual, like, I don't know if I can show a video. Maybe I can. I had to ask Corvus how I could show on here. Downloads. But I'll show you a picture that the desk very much not broken while I was using it. And the room was, clean for me because I had to quite literally sleep on the floor. Also, don't send this person hate. They're obviously just, commenting. As I said before, don't show hate to anybody. Anyways. The video of... So I don't know that I show you the video, but I know that I sent them a video of my room basically just paneling around and how clean it was on my phone, but I can send it to you through Discord on the computer. See, he's so smart. He's a smart crow.
Like, you could put all of this.
That's true. Actually, if Belle, if you're still in here, do you mind if I just open up our conversation and just play the video? Would that be okay? I don't know if Belle is still in here, or even Suki. That's fine. But, yeah, don't send hate to any of these people. Like I said, that's not my intention to begin with. But it's just in the screenshots, and I'm not that text. The video of the room that I sent when I sent you the screenshots of, like, she was claiming this, and I sent you a video of proof that my room was clean. But, she's like, I wish it was that kind of Google... Oh, hold on. Oh! So this is when she made the Google Doc. Back November 18th of 2024. So this was directly after me making my original post of being like, I might speak out against it. She's like, I never thought I'd have to potentially draft a Google Doc. I'm so disgusted and horrified and disappointed. And they commented, and she's like, I wish it was that kind of Google Doc. It's the bad VTuber kind of Google Doc. Unfortunately, I don't want to release one because I don't want to embarrass the other person. But they've been taking advantage of my kindness for far too long, and they're painting me the villain right now. It hurts. Which, for one, I will never paint anybody as a villain on purpose. Unless it's Corvus. I'm just kidding. I'm joking. I'm just joking.
I'm the resident.
So long as it's just the room. Oh, yeah. It's just gonna be that. So, actually, let me just go into Discord and get that ready. Mm, wait. God dang it. Belle, you've changed your profile picture again. I can't find you. Oh, there you are. You're always doing a one-upper on me. Oh, wait. I didn't send it to you. Who did I send it to then? Did I not send it to you? Where'd it go? Hmm. Huh. Give me a moment. It is. So it's in here and then that. But I do believe I sent it to Mortis, so I'll just pull up said video. And picture. It won't show anything else. Yeah, like download the video. Yeah. Well, it's pulled up, so I'll show that here in a minute. Well, it will play. I don't know.
Well, if you're not doing it right.
Right, meow. Also, Corvus, you see it, right? Does that look broken?
No.
Does that dust? Well, save it first.
No. Unless that's just like loose, but I've had one of those desks before.
Yeah, it leaned down because it was the open up desk.
Those arms do go a little bit further down and it can seem broken. I've literally had this desk, but it looked a lot better and was a lot prettier.
Yeah.
It also used to have a big vanity on. Not vanity, like here.
Yeah. He digresses. Also, let's pause that. And then
Okay, you can all...
yeah, I just did it. I just downloaded it. But yeah, and then here she's like, yeah, this person has really broken my trust severely, and I just don't know what I can do anymore. I'm trying to document everything in case I have to take legal action. And the person's like, why? And they're like, is everything okay? She's like, no, this is an issue that has been becoming out of control. A quote-unquote friend, which she did actively tell me face to face, she had been pretending to be my friend the entire time to be, like, in good graces with Rorsch. Because apparently she, like, I don't know, needed his approval for, like, everything in her life is what I feel like she needed. Because she was always, like, near, like, oh, where's Rorsch? Where's this? Where's that? Kind of like, I guess, how I am to Corvus, but I'm more, like, of a lost puppy than, like, obsessive. And, she's like, has been staying with me for months. The only agreement was that she'd get a job and pay rent. She hasn't and has been living off my mom and my unlimited funds, sending us both into debt. She's starting to push things too far. And this is Queen Streams here on Twitch. God bless her lovely soul. I send her all the best of things. Oh, thank you, Netro. I almost called you Nietzsche. My brain's, it's not working. Also, thank you for the hydrate. I need it, my throat. You're indirectly here too, so take a hydrate, sir. Oh.
Start calling them.
Netro's like, either or works. But Queen, this is like November 18th, 24th. This was directly after Aspen quite literally kicked open my door at 3 a.m. and was like, why'd you make this? And this was me basically explaining to her, you know, like pleading with her, please don't tell her I'm contacting you. I'm actively like stressing out and whatnot. And she's like, oh, I won't say a word, all that. I'd tell you to stretch and posture check, but those are expensive, and I know your posture is lost cause.
Yeah, her shit is so fucking. Don't spend your money on her.
And listen, with this economy, you know, I gotta up the prices sometimes.
Spend money at the Pro and Caterpillar Apothecary. Look, she doesn't even have. She doesn't even have a currency.
But hey, if you save up enough, you can make Joel scream at me. But
my head pats are like 50 each. Come spoil my bird ass.
Hi.
Hi, Netro. Which also, guys, if you ever come into my stream, you can redeem that one high for like 1 channel point, and it's only redeemable once per stream. Just say hi.
With the flex.
Belle, stop screaming at me. I'm sensitive. No, I'm just kidding. But yeah, basically me just telling her everything that happened. She's like, "Oh, I understand." And this is Ari, or now Ultraviolet, chats, and they're like, "Oh, I saw you left the group chat. Aspen told me what happened." I was like, "What all did she say?" She's like, "She just said that she can't afford to house you and her mother. Eventually, you'll find your own place. Blah blah blah." I was like, I was unaware she was telling my business like that because at the moment I have a very bad mental state, and I've asked for her like to keep it between us. She's like, "Well, I think it's just because she wanted to explain why you left. I think Aspen's just extra stressed out since she's taking care of a lot of people, especially since it seems like Rorsch was supposed to help out and he didn't, and he isn't, from what I understand." Which technically Rorsch never promised her that he would help out. He said that if he could, because granted, my guy has a whole ass family. He gotta take care of himself. But yeah, apparently she was going around telling Oncha and Ari that like, "Oh, I was made promises, nobody's delivering on it. Poor me," basically. And I was like, then Ultra was like, "Well, I'm gonna tell her that we're gonna talk. Is this okay?" And I was like, "Absolutely not. I do not want her knowing that I talk to people, because one, it's not her business. I didn't even know she was telling my business, like, I just didn't want nothing to do with it. I had left the group chat. I was done after she like embarrassed me like in front of people I didn't even know. At that point I was just like, I want out of this situation. And I was like, I'm already gonna have to talk to her and her mom about it. And they're like, "Oh, okay then." And they were like, "From what I'm understanding, Aspen is mostly frustrated you aren't picking up around the house and stuff like that, and like getting a job." And I was like, "I've been trying. Like, nowhere is hiring. I had a job, but then I got hurt and everything." And then I told them that at the end of the day she agreed to help me with a safe place, and she knew I was coming with nothing and still have nothing because I was spending literal pennies trying to, satisfy her in some way. Like, I would buy her lunch, I would buy her dinner just to have just a few hours of peace in the house and not feel like I did something wrong, even though I didn't.
I don't feel like typing this. Take too long. But also, for the record, I have to yell at her to stop using money to get house snacks and stuff and to like save money. Because like we went grocery shopping when she got here, and she's like, "But snacks for you guys and me," and like I have to tell her to stop.
Like,
She
when I
buys
got
snacks
here,
for
I was like,
literally everybody.
I was like, "Do you want me to make you dinner? Are you guys hungry?
Yeah.
Like, can I do this for you? Can I do that for you?" Like,
I literally sat her down and said, "Stop. Cook for yourself. We don't need you to cook for us. You're good."
yeah.
Like, it was always appreciated. Like it was never like not appreciated. Like it's 100% appreciated. It's just I'm good, bud. You do you. I'll eat when I need to eat.
He would give me bonks on the head, but ass. No, I'm just kidding. But yeah, if I clearly didn't do anything for people, would I necessarily be doing that to just Harvest, who I barely knew at the time? I don't think I would. And basically, this around this time, so like September 29th of 2024. I think this was after my birthday. I don't remember. Ari was like, yo, like, just messaged me, and I'm like, haven't heard from you in a while, super stressed out. I'm like, "Yeah, I am, because I just got lectured about future plans today. Not in the mood to talk about anything." And then they, like, got offensive about it, and they were like, "I saw your status. Are you and Aspen butting heads?" And I was like, "I'm supposed to leave in 11 hours." Because I guess originally what the plan was to go to New York. I don't remember, like, my mental state was just everywhere. And you've been forcefully hardwired to be hard to turn. Yeah. I used to not be a people pleaser. And then I met Aspen, and I was basically hands on knees, like, can I do this for you? Can I do that for you? I guess I was the maid, even though she was claiming to be the maid. But yeah. And also, just the other day, Ultraviolet reached out to me and was like, "Can you please not do this stream? Like, it's not worth it." Mainly because they knew they were going to be implicated in this, according to words.
But it can't.
Yeah.
Yes.
Because right after they messaged me and I blocked them, Aspen somehow figured out that I was going to make this stream before I even publicly announced it. And I was like, it definitely was Ultra who did this. But yeah, this is... Yeah. And this is when I told them about the whole pill incident, and there's like, well, maybe it was like just like, you know, expired or whatever. There's like, if you wanted to leave and she wants you to leave, I doubt you'd have anything to gain from poisoning you. Which, it's kind of hard to believe. And this right here, so, very much, May 9th of 2024, so a little over a year ago, she was like, because we were talking about, you know, like, what my plans would be if, like, a big if I agreed to be with her. She was like, you know, no problem, you can use my subscriptions. We do need down to clarify with my mom about utilities and whatnot. You know, like, she was basically telling me that they usually pay, since it's just them two, it was like $6.50 a month or whatever. And that's an overstatement. And she'll be like, you'll have to factor in your own groceries, toiletries, and other basic stuff, like blah blah blah. And you should be able to tuck away at least a couple hundred a month and all that. And I was like, and this literally, I had nothing, no money at all. And this right here, this bit is what she claims as me agreeing to pay her rent and give her money, when all I said was, yeah, because I'm trying to save up as much money as possible and make it easier on Rorsch and pay him back so he can get me into one of his apartments. That's it. Nowhere in there that I ever agree or sign a contract that says I'll pay you money to live here. But I did agree that I would, like, pay and help out with groceries and all that, like, verbally. Not easy, it might take a while, but I'm glad you have support you. Thank you. Is your name Akira? I just don't want to pronounce it incorrectly, and sorry if I haven't been reading chat that much. Akira _ Sand4. I believe you were in Corvus's chat one time, were you not? But yeah. As I said, this just goes over, like, her talking about expenses, quote unquote, if I ever, like, agreed to Akira. Okay. Good. Sorry if I also just, like, read your comment and then just go straight back into this. I'm not trying to be rude, but I'm also kind of, like, trying to wrap this up because I've been, like, talking for 2 hours and my throat's getting, like, dry. But, you know, it is what it is. But, yeah, because Aspen basically wanted me to use her stuff so she can have a reason to basically extort me for money. Because according to her, I owe her $7,000 and however much more she adds on every single day. This was her basically just talking about, you know, expenses. I was like, also, I know I say I want to leave in September or after a month if I get too emotional, because I was an emotional wreck and I just wanted to go back to where Rorsch was because I trusted him more than her. I'm like, that's mainly because I'm a little skittish. I'm in a skittish phase, so who knows, if I start getting into routine, I might end up staying longer. I just know that I tend to say things whenever I feel uncertain of things. Didn't want to offend you. And she was like, no. And this right here is another fact. She's like, no, not at all. Honestly, I really want you to spend this time deciding on what you want. This is your life. You have too many people pushing you down and telling you who you are, what you need is time to figure out who you are and who you want to be. I have zero expectations other than you get a job or jobs. So I did that, but she took it away from me, technically. So this right here is evidence that all she wanted me to do was get a job. I fulfilled that, even though later it didn't last long. I actively tried to get more jobs. And basically, she said I need to take care of my health, be weird nerds together, all that. And then this, it says 6 minutes ago because this was like the day that I posted, hey, Monday, gonna do a stream, which later turned into Tuesday. She was like, just found out certain someone is attempting to create drama involving me, considering my mom is in the hospital and I have plenty enough on my plate right now. The timing sucks, but I have everything documented and plenty of people to back me up. The crazy thing is that everything was over months ago. I haven't talked about her in any way publicly in months and made a point to not name names because of the seriousness of the situation. If she wants to create drama, always remember there are two sides to the story. I have receipts. Why are people like this? And basically, this right here. So, 2 months after I left, as we now know, she got rid of my stuff back in November, like 2 days after I left. I was like, January 5th, 2025, I was like, if I give you a P.O. box when I set it up, will you be able to mail the stuff there and whatnot? And she's like, do you understand how much it will cost me to send you all the stuff? It would be over $100. I don't have that kind of money. I was like, I meant like my smaller things, like my Lego set, my laptop, you know, my, I believe I had a pair of shoes there, and then like my pillow, because I needed my pillow. And she's like, Heather, do you understand how much that will cost for a laptop? I'll have to send it differently because it's a fragile device. That alone will cost me a lot of money to package properly, much less send it in the mail. I'm not paying another cent on you when you owe me over $1,000. Are you kidding me right now? I was like, well, I won't be able to get my stuff in person. That's why I asked, since those are like the only two things that I need. And she's like, Heather, I'm so traumatized by my experience with you that I'm literally shaking right now. The fact that I'm in debt because of you is incredibly selfish of you. This is your stuff. You should be responsible. And I don't know. Okay, so it did cut off. So hold on. Let me go back to her chat real quick and I will pull up the rest of those messages. Oh, yeah, hold on. I can screen share through Discord, right?
And
Oh,
get
yeah.
those up.
So, hopefully, her real name isn't in this. I don't think it is. And, you know, because I'm pretty sure I skipped through all that. Okay, so hold on while I mute this game. Where's my game? Let me play. Did you guys hear that at all? Also, this was screen recorded by Suki because I was told, hey, we need to talk to you. And I was like, Suki, you know, help me. I need this recorded. I don't feel safe. Blah, blah, blah. It was with my consent because I think that in the United States, at least one party has to, consent or whatnot. Okay, good. So let me listen to this really quickly. So you can't hear any of this, right? Val. Okay, good. Okay. Just give me a moment. I'm re-going through this. Because unlike some people, I don't want to dox people's real identity and all that. So I'm actively doing her a favor. I don't have to, but I'm nice. Because I know whenever it gets to 8 minutes, her mom is gone. Because in the beginning, her mom was there. And she did reveal her real name, so I'm trying like to get past that. Also, thank you for the head pets, Neety. Even if it is emoji cons. Thank you for the head pats. Okay, so I listened to it. I think it's good. So whether it's like further in here, if her mom comes back, I apologize. We'll get there whenever it's needed. I believe it was at like 333. Okay. Go to about 31. So I will unmute this. This is actual audio that Suki, who's in chat, recorded for me because I felt unsafe. And this entire conversation was 3 hours long, but we only were able to get 42 minutes and 16 seconds out of it because the internet got shut off, I think, for Suki or something. But I'm going to play this, so let me know if you guys hear it. And I will be silent because just even hearing this causes me anxiety. And I don't know if I'll even have like my headphones fully on for it, but I'm going to play it now. So let me know if you
coming
guys
from,
can hear it.
and I think you may feel the same way.
Oh wait, hold on. I forgot I sped it up a little bit. Oops. Okay.
I think she wants you to understand where she's coming from,
Can you guys
and
hear
I
it?
think you may feel the same way.
Okay.
So
I feel like there's been a lot of me talking and you not really saying much of anything. And I've said that before. And I feel like I think you have decided I'm a bad person. And I know you put a rant in your rant channel that I can't see. And it's nothing in there. That there isn't. Heather, there's literally
You
nothing
can
in the
ask
rant
Belle.
section.
There was
You
nothing in my
stop
rant
and listen
section.
for a moment
There
because
still isn't.
this is part of what happens. You get super defensive and you stop listening. And I really want you to listen. And I actually really want to give you a space to speak. Okay? Because I need to understand why you are treating me like I'm a monster. Because what my mom and I have done is we've accepted you into our home so you could get away from somebody who actually was a monster. And the last thing I've ever wanted to do was be another monster for you. And there are two things to me that are huge insults. Like that, to me, they are above and beyond two of the hugest insults a person can do. And you've done both. That is, not communicate and be dishonest. And I think the thing you don't understand is because I've worked with survivors of abuse, I know that survivors of abuse will often use being dishonest as a safety mechanism,
Which is bullshit, by
because
the way.
sometimes lying is the only way to protect yourself from your abuser. We're not abusing you here. And it's important to undo safety mechanisms that are not good for you. Because you shouldn't take things that you have to do with your abuser and apply them to people who aren't abusing you. Does that make sense? So the fact that you get really defensive immediately, I know what that is because I've worked with survivors of abuse. I know exactly what that is. And that is a sign that you actually are doing the thing that I'm telling you that you are doing. And all of a sudden you're like, no, 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 no. It's a panic response. I know these things, Heather. I know these things very, very well. And I have a near genius IQ. I have a master's degree. I'm a lot smarter than you. Not that you're stupid, but I'm very aware of these things because of my training. You can't lie to me without me figuring it out right away.
Yeah, but there really isn't anything in there.
Heather, you're still being defensive. And that's not what I want here right now. I'm not looking for you to tell me no, yes, no, yes. I want to make sure you understand why I feel unsafe right now. I want to make sure you understand why I am so hurt. Because I am incredibly hurt by what you've done since you were here. I feel like you have taken advantage of me. And right now, like, and I know you've said bad things about me. I know other people have told me you have.
Which I would like to clarify. You can even ask Belle and anyone I've talked to. I've never purposely said bad things about her. I only told them the truth. And if telling the truth is considered bad things, then I'm sorry you don't want people knowing the truth. Like, I never would purposely talk bad about anybody. That's just not who I am. Please remember, if anyone needs to take a break from this, please do. Yeah, please take breaks if you need to. This is going to get very heavy, and it's even, like, kind of stressing for me to even listen to, because the way she talked to you is so disrespectful. Oh, trust me, Indigo, it's going to get a lot worse. And if Suki had recorded the entire 3 hours, you'd have heard her chasing me up the stairs, me crying, me having anxiety attack. You would have heard all of it. And oh, Natural, you can give me a hug on Monday if I'm not working. But I will say this, that with the traumatic stuff Aspen put me through, most of it I only halfway remember, because whenever I am in a traumatic situation, sorry, can't speak, my go-to thing is for my brain to actively push it back. And so what happens is I disassociate a lot, and I lose key parts of my memory because I block it out and I just want it to be gone. So yeah, Heather didn't say anything mean or targeted towards Aspen that I can remember. Yeah. But most of this conversation I don't even remember, so just hearing this is like hearing it for the first time again. And it'll probably like stress me out a little bit. So I like may mute up myself because I don't want to like break down or get too anxious, you know, have to end stream early because I want this to be made public of how she treats people behind the whole VTuber persona of, oh, I'm so nice and, you know, I'm the victim and, you know, all that. I want closure. And if this means that I have to, show things that were targeted at me, even if they weren't true, and even if some things are true, like me, like being like not as clean around the house sometimes and whatnot. I'll do it because I believe that people need to know how she actually treats people and that she is not the perfect person that she claims. So with that being said, I'll continue the audio right now. Yeah. If you need to take a break, please do. It will get intense. I think it captures some really intense parts because we sometimes just went on an absolute screaming match at each other because she wanted to like convince me and admit to things that I didn't do. And even right now, I'm pretty sure I still don't have anything in my rant channel in my Discord server because I don't use it unless now I do because I'm safe and out of the situation. But I was literally terrified to put anything in my rant section. It was mainly there for other people in my server who were having a hard time to just rant about their day. That's all it was mainly for. But yeah, with that, I'll continue the audio now.
Like, there's no reason to lie about this when I know other people have told you've told lies about me. Like, can we just take that off the board and clarify? The reality is you have said bad things about me to other people. And that can affect not only my work as a VTuber, but the work I do for my company that helps keep marginalized people earning money so they can survive. I don't know if you understand, but if you put out a Google Doc on me or start spreading stuff about me, my company can sue you. And to give you some context, the reason why Selene didn't sue Niji Sanji is because she's one person and that's a company. And a company can make a trial go on and on and on, and they can destroy your life. I don't want to do that to you.
Okay, thank you, Corvus.
There are so many things you've done that I've been hurt by that I have not told anybody because I don't want them to hate you. But if I have to take it to court, I'll have to share that information. And I don't want to do that, Heather. I do not want to hurt you. Do you understand that?
Yeah.
Because I don't think you do. I don't think you really understand that. I think you're telling me what you think I want to hear. And that's the thing that hurts the most. That's incredibly dishonest. And I'm somebody who, like, I prize honesty. And doing things behind my back, just because you aren't saying a flat out lie, it's still dishonest. And I'm an adult, Heather. This is not high school, and you are acting like somebody who is in high school. I don't think you realize the harm that you could cause people by doing things like this. I don't think you realize the harm you could cause yourself by doing this as an adult, because as an adult, you have to take responsibility for a lot more than you can get away with as a teenager or as a kid. And about your safety. I think you're making some bad choices, and those are your bad choices to make. I'm not going to do anything about your bad choices because they're up to you. But the fact that you have dumped all of your good friends and made a whole new friend group in 2 months, that doesn't look good, especially when those people cared about you a lot. Like,
I want to clarify, her talking about me dumping old friends for new friends. She's talking about the fact that I left her, Ocha, and God damn it, Nightbot. Leave Netra alone. Anyways, what she's talking about is after I basically left the friend group with her, Ocha, and Ari, I made new friends like Shogun and Belle and Mortis and Suki and all these other people who actually treated me like I was a human being. And I was happy. Like, I was streaming when, like, during the times I was laughing, having a good time. And then she would come in and just wrecking ball it and make me feel like I was worth nothing. So that's what she's talking about whenever she's like, you let your friend group for a whole new people, like that's unhealthy, all that. So I just wanted
It's really disturbing when that many people who care about you, want you to be safe and loved, you just dump them like they're nothing. It's really sad, Heather. It feels, everybody feels like you've used them. Like we're not people to you. Like we're just pawns on a chessboard. So can you tell me what you think I feel? Because I want to be sure you really understand. So please tell me, why am I upset with you? And I will not accept I don't know as an answer. Please tell me, why do you think I'm upset?
Because I don't have a job.
What else?
It's only the main reason why. It's because, like, I don't have a job and earning money to help you here.
It's not the main reason, Heather. It's actually not the main reason at all. I want you to think about that for a moment. The main reason I'm upset at you is not because you don't have a job. So I want you to think about the last
Oh my
few
God.
months. Think about what I've gotten upset about. And I want you to tell me. Think about it. What has happened
there you
between
go,
us
Netra.
where I have
I
felt
untimed
hurt?
you out.
And you can take your time.
Also, would just like to let you all know, Aspen is streaming right now, by the way. That's a totally. Well, so let me pause this. So she would talk to me like that all the time. At this point in time, I was so used to it. Like, according to Suki's little time window right here, this was like November 23rd. So this was literally days before I left. So, for those who know me, like, just recently, I'm a very upbeat, cheerful person. I'll make jokes and I'm funny and I'll laugh and whatnot. But in this, I was just so broken and, like, I just didn't have the energy. Like, I just accepted anything at that point. And I was, like, actively scrambling my brain trying to figure out why I'm the problem. Because if you heard, she's like, I won't accept I don't know for an answer. You have to come up with the answer yourself. Like, I literally do not know what I did wrong. And she would make me feel like I did everything wrong. So, it is sad that she can comfortably do that and then still have the gall to be like, I never treated her with any disrespect. I never did this. I never did that. And I digress. What do I know, right?
I know there's a streaming issues and then me not helping out
It's
as
fine.
much. That's all I can think of, really.
Like, literally, my answer to that. I was like, is it me streaming and me still not having, like, a job and whatnot? Like, cause I literally was scrambling at scraps trying to figure out what did I do wrong this time. But I didn't know.
So you said not helping out. And what's the other one?
About the streaming issues.
Yeah, she had convinced me that I wasn't helping her. Also, oh, the video paused. Eh? Hold on. I think we're having technical difficulties. Brace with me. I might have to. It's probably because it's like a long file. Yeah. Also, look how cute Soki's little Discord image used to be. He used to be adorable. Now he's purple. I'm just kidding. I really hope it's not like broken because we still have like only 14 minutes. We are going in and out. Hang on a sec. Oh, am I? Is the Wi-Fi acting up? I'll also just close this out and whatnot.
The streaming issues.
Okay. Ah, no! Hold on.
You've used them.
Let
Two
me.
things, I guess,
Oh, okay.
I'd like you to understand is, first of all, because of the way I grew up, because my father died when I was 3 years old, and my mom had to raise 3 kids by herself. We had times growing up when we literally had to live off of bread and water. Like, literally. That is all we had.
Probably.
My mom had to choose between paying certain bills at some points because we had so little money. Right now, just because we have a house that we're renting, it doesn't mean we have a lot of money.
Yeah.
The average income, the lowest average income of somebody who's middle class is $54,000 a year.
Okay, guys.
I make less than
All I gotta see is see
36,000.
one tickle in chat, and I'll.
Please
So right
don't.
now, by being here, even if you're just in the house and you're not spending money, the water costs money, the heating costs money,
Need to do is see
the
one
electricity
person
costs
top
money.
tickle.
No.
I don't actually care if you stream or not. I would have
Tickle,
rather
tickle,
let
tickle,
you
tickle,
stream as
tickle.
much as you want, Heather. But the fact is, all those things cost money.
Oh, you're not gonna squeak like you normally do.
And growing up, being scared about keeping a roof over our head,
Bastard.
wondering if we'd ever
Yeah,
be able
that's
to eat normal food again when we had to live off bread and water.
Oh, thank you.
It's
That was
terrifying to me when I go into debt. I had a period of time when I could not get work because the economy pretty much collapsed and I had to live in debt. And it was one of the most stressful times in my life. It was terrifying. And so the issue around the job thing, there's a few things. One is I don't want you to ever experience what I felt because I actually give a shit about you, Heather. I want you to be able to live a good, happy, healthy life.
Oh, okay.
I want you to have a job so you can survive. So you know that you don't need to be with some guy who will hurt you because you know you can take care of yourself. That's why it mattered to me that you got into Job Corps. That's why it mattered to me that you get a job.
Yeah, she kind of was.
Because I want you to have a life where you can feel safe. Are you understanding what's underlying all of this? I care about you. Even though I'm upset at you, I still care about you. And it hurts that you think or you treat me like I'm some mean person when I care about you. And I have all this time.
Drive that home.
I want you to be safe. I don't want you to ever experience the fear that I had that I couldn't survive on my own. and that I'd have to start doing things that are dangerous or stupid in order to survive.
Lives with her mom.
I don't want you to have to do dangerous or stupid things in order to survive. That's why I care about you having a job. Like, sure, I want rent and utilities paid.
It really is.
And right now, my mother and I are in debt because you haven't paid rent or utilities. So you're putting me in a position where I'm going back to that fear. So you are actually putting me in fear. You are financially abusing us, Heather. That is a form of abuse. You are abusing our finances. There are two types of financial abuse: controlling all the money, or making everybody else make the money and you live off of it. You are doing the second one. You are being abusive towards us.
Trying to be the
There's no apologies from you, hardly ever. Hardly ever do you say thanks. You aren't even trying to understand where we're coming from. I don't want my mom having to tell me I'm scared or I'm worried because I can't pay my bills. I don't want to feel that way about my own bills either. I have had to reduce so many things for myself in order to handle the cost of you being here. I had to give up taking vitamins that help my health
Yeah, she did.
because they cost too much in order to keep a roof over our heads. You have put my well-being in danger financially. You've also put my well-being in danger.
Okay, I just want to point something out and also like lighten shit up just a tiny bit. So, just a little background on Luna and I. Like like where I said that Heather's been putting in applications ever since she's gotten here. Yeah, so have Luna and I. Like we haven't been really working for a few months. We've been putting in applications. Like we took her in with like absolute dick all. Like we were just like, yeah, come here. If you can help out, you can help out. If not, I guess we can all be homeless at the same time. We got some tents. But like we already are like bare minimum. So we were like, yeah, like whatever you can contribute, you can contribute. But just so like with just the flip of that, oh, you need to pay this, and no, like, bro, we can either do it together or we can live in the woods. The park's really nice.
It is.
We do have plenty of mountains around here. But I guess back to this.
By
I mean, we
the
could
people
also
you
skip
brought into our
around
life.
if we don't want to listen to the whole thing. Unless you want to listen
The
to
whole
It's
situation
kind of a thing
with
that
Nick
it has to be.
Okay.
was so traumatizing for me. And I know it was really hard for you too. But the one thing I told both of you is that I'm not part of your relationship. And even with your breakup, I got pulled into the middle of it because of the way you broke up with him. You just shut everything off. You didn't communicate with him. So what does he do? He harasses me.
So pause it real quick. The quote-unquote breakup she's talking about is with that 31-year-old. She forced me to get into a relationship to begin with, and then when I went to her for help and asked her, hey, please help me and figure out a way to like get him to understand that like I'm not interested in, I never was interested, she's like, it's your relationship, don't involve me. Like, are you gonna...
Yeah, we can.
Netro, he's taking away your VIP.
Huh? No, I'm looking at a way to just undo what the fuck Nightbot just did.
Oh. Make her a mod.
Just make her a mod?
Yeah, make her a mod. I guess that's the only way to do it.
I mean, okay.
Nightbot wants to be mean and bully all my friends.
I bet. You can now freely cuss out Nightbot Netro.
I mean, that's what I did to Suki, and he took advantage of it.
Yeah, I mean, we can go beat Netro up. They're just like a 15-minute drive away.
Netro, you want us to pick you up so you can give me IRL hugs? I'm currently on Corvus' lap, like with tears.
I feel like a bad-backed Santa. My back is killing me right now. Ugh.
It's because I'm short and I have to have the pillow in the seat in order for your camera to
it's
reach
because
me.
even though I said you're skin and bones and you have been eating, you're still just skin and bones. And I already have sciatic nerve pain.
Sorry that my bony ass is doing you damage.
It is. It's chip damage, but it's damage.
Yes, we'll continue the sob story.
Okay.
The faster we get this done, the
So
faster
you put the
everyone can
responsibility
sleep peacefully.
of your relationship onto my shoulders. And the thing is, I had a relationship where I was being stalked online, not too dissimilarly from the way how Nick treated me. And it was horrible, Heather.
By the way, Jeff the Duck is Nick.
So what the
That's
drama
not
you
really
created,
boxing. He gave
with
his name out
Nick,
anyways.
you
Well, I
traumatized
wanna
me.
go IRL, everyone.
Both of you traumatized me
We do need to make a
without
day of it, Indigo.
consideration of my life experience, of my feelings.
Okay.
You made me feel unsafe.
Excuse me.
And right now, I feel especially more so unsafe because now I feel threatened because I know you're talking about me behind my back and telling people I'm a mean person when Lorch and I pretty much helped save your life. You know what happens when people leave their abuser and then go back? The abuse gets worse. The abuse actually is more likely to get worse. If he was already strangling you, probably could have
Did it
killed
get
you
better?
eventually.
No, it got better.
And I know this, again, because I've worked with survivors of abuse. The last thing I want for you is to be murdered by somebody. You get that? Do you understand that I care about you, Heather? None of this is coming. I
damn it,
wouldn't be
Nightbot.
upset if I didn't care. If I
I
didn't
know
care about you, I'd be
things.
like,
Yes,
yeah,
Indigo.
okay, I'll get your stuff. You can go find some place right
You know
now.
what? Oh,
Or figure it out. I gotta go. He's
Nightbot's
got
not
dinner
gonna
cooking.
stop Heather from doing it.
The only reason I'm upset this
Fuck you,
much
Nightbot.
is because I actually
win.
care about you. True.
I feel toxic.
Yeah. I mean, like, I've very rarely had anybody protect me in my life.
Here comes her
My
fearful
older brother's never
crying
protected
drama.
me.
Is
He's
it
actually
as
been the
good as
one who
Amber
has hurt
Heard?
me the most growing up.
I don't know.
And here I am trying to protect you, and you're making my life more dangerous. And it's harming my health. I have never felt so weak and exhausted and sick in all my life for such a long period
She's
of
supposed to be
time,
trying to
Heather.
cry here?
Yeah.
I don't know if you understand. Like, you've told me a lot of things that have happened to you, and
Let me point this out that, so yeah, she would work and then come home, would shut herself in her room because me and her mom would like be making dinner or just talking. Would be like, oh, hi, how's work? She'd be like, she'd scream and be like, not right now. Like, can't you see I'm stressed? And she would go up to her room, slam her door, and then stream for like 5 or 6 hours, completely ignore us, and then just keep doing that and would wonder why she's exhausted. But God forbid it's her like her fault she's exhausted. She'd blame it on me or her mom. Like one time, like I guess the TV wasn't working because the weather was bad or whatnot, and her mom talked to her about it. She's like, "I bet you broke my TV. You owe me $100 by the end of the day so I can fix it." It was just the weather. The TV was completely fine, but her mother ended up giving her that $100 because she felt bad. Because she actually thought she broke it when she didn't. It was just the weather, and I had to explain that to her.
It sounds like elder abuse.
I mean, she yells at her mom all the time. But I think one time I was in voice chat and her mom was trying to ask her something. She yelled at her. She's like, "Not right now. I'm trying to do stuff."
I have to wonder, like, well, why did that happen? Like, you told me about the girl who you shared the bathroom with, and she threw trash on your bed. I'm
Oh
like,
yeah, that was
well,
during my time in CPS.
not that you deserve that. Nobody deserves to be treated like that. That's not a way to solve problems. But what was going on between you? Because I know from having shared that bathroom with you, you take stuff and treat it like it's yours without asking. Do you think it's appropriate to take people's stuff without asking?
I mean, yeah.
Oh, I thought it was one of the things that there was
Good.
multiple of them. That's why.
So you take my expensive mascara.
Okay, so she's fixed to be like, "You take my mascara, you take my stuff, all that." I will note that when I got there, she was like, "I have a whole bathroom dresser full of makeup and body wash. I don't use it because I don't wear makeup and whatnot. You can pick whatever you want and you can have it." And when I finally did that, she got mad. It was like, "You're stealing my stuff. It's expensive and all this and all that." Eh.
Mascara without asking. You wasted a face mask on Nick without asking.
God
The whole
damn it,
problem is you've
Nightbot,
made
it's not the time.
assumptions. You're making assumptions that everything is yours to take
And by the way, the face mask, it was me, her, and
and
the
yours to
said
use.
person. We all used one.
You know, I will specifically tell you, you can have this, but that doesn't mean you can have everything. I know you took one of my manicure sets. I haven't seen it in months.
Manicure sets, I didn't even know she had
I
one.
know that you've used other stuff without asking. And some of those things,
Hold up. Can you click this for me real quick? So, you can ask Belle or Shogun or even Suki. I was so afraid to use anything in the house that was even, maybe even hers or just in the house for the general public to use, that I sometimes refused to make my own self food because I was afraid that if it was Aspen's, she'd yell at me. So, just wanted to point that. Hmm? Oh, this is because it's a recording.
No, I know. I'm trying to find where your chat.
Oh, they just pop up behind me.
Okay.
Yeah. Was that throwing you off, sir?
Yeah. It was. I was like, wait, why am I not seeing it here? Okay.
Da-da-da. Hmm.
Well, I'm a curious person.
Guess it runs in the family. Unless it's food or basic stuff that I always asked for if it was okay to use. And she was like, "No, you don't pay rent. You can't use this."
Meanwhile, I'm sitting here. You need to stream more. You draw a bigger audience than I. Boundary.
By the way, Dustin is my abusive ex that I ran away from. Clarification. Oh, my face! You froze my face.
No, what I'm laughing.
Yep. There she goes saying I'll be like my mother. Hold on. Can y'all not hear it? Corvus, what'd you do?
Can you hear it?
Cause and it goes like, is there audio playing? Oh, you muted it, Corvus.
I didn't mute it. I don't know when it got muted.
All right, I can hear you. Okay. I'll just go about right here and then start it. I rewinded it a little bit.
And yours to use.
Can you hear it now, guys?
You know, I will specifically tell you,
This will
you
also
can
be the
have
file
this,
with the rest of the Google Docs.
but that doesn't mean you can have everything.
Oh yeah.
I know you took one of my manicure sets. I haven't seen it in months. I know
also
that
don't know if
you've
it's already
you've
repeated this
used
or
other
not, but
stuff
we'll just start it
without
from here.
asking. And some of those things I would have let you use if you'd asked. But by just taking them, it feels like my privacy has been disrupted. Like, I grew up in a family where I had a grandfather who was a fucking pedophile. I still hate him for it. Like, if he came back to life, I would kill him myself. Like, I've joked about that with my mom, but it's kind of literal. Because he was a
We should
monster.
play bingo.
So I grew up in a family where I never felt safe from him. I didn't know what he did, but I knew he was unsafe. So my privacy is important to me
It
because
really
I don't.
is, and that's what
I
she's
never
trying
felt
to paint
safe
herself
with
to be.
people like coming into my space and, you know, potentially doing things that could harm me. You know, I'm happy to share stuff, but like, I'm the kind of person 99% of the time, if you ask, I'll say yes. Because I know what it's like to go without. But if you don't ask at all, then I'm like, you have immediately violated my friendship, my respect. You're supposed to ask people, Heather. Things cost money. And maybe things are personal items that
Yeah.
they just don't want you to use.
Unfortunately.
You have to understand boundaries. Because boundaries are going to actually save you from being in another situation like you were with Dustin. You know, like your tasting guys is really awful, I gotta tell you. And I don't want you to be constantly around these guys who do things like say, oh, sure, I'll do you this favor if you give me your panties, or I'll do you this favor if you give me sex. That's not normal. That's disgusting. And I know you know that too. It's horrible when people do that.
It is.
Nobody should do that to you, Heather.
She got something right.
You're worth way more than that.
Yeah.
And I don't want anybody treating you like that. And you shouldn't want anybody treating you like that either. And I'm glad you have some foresight to be able to say no. And one of the issues here too is that having you here has been a huge responsibility. And Roche just disappeared. So instead of being able to share that responsibility with someone else, I'm not so stressed out. He's gone. He's probably never going to talk to me again.
Just
You know, unless I find him on Facebook and tell him, you know, I might have to take legal action against Heather.
Which I would like to clarify, it's because of Aspen that he got rid of his Facebook.
Because of what happened, which I don't want to do that. Because again, I want you to have a good life. I don't want you to be like your mom, Heather. I don't want you to be in her situation.
Oh no,
That's a
played it
horrible
back,
place
I
to
didn't hear that
be.
part.
Like living in a shack by a homeless encampment that's overrun with rats and being addicted to drugs. Like, and I know you don't want that for yourself either.
No, wait, drugs are bad.
Because you've told me
Some
that.
drugs are good.
Also, I just remembered that I still have to show everybody what she put in Roche's Discord server. So after this, I'll do that.
But you can't just live off of other people
I mean,
for the rest of your life.
fair.
You have to take
That
some
can
responsibility
play.
for
That
yourself,
should
Heather.
stay. Where are
Sure.
those?
And you know, when you came here, you were all gung ho about getting a job, and now you're making up stories that you can't work because you're sick.
Cringe.
Well, then
Or just mine.
you get on disability. There's things out there to help you,
Yeah, they'll
and every little step I try to take to help you, you shut it down. And what that tells me is you're not ready to take the next step forward to make your
I
life
can
better
just-
for yourself. So you've been using me and Mom to keep a roof over your head. I took my computer from you because why should I let you have my computer if you're not even helping out with rent? You know, I should charge you for using the computer as well, like a rental fee. Because that computer has stuff on it I need for my business. And you've been keeping it like it was yours. And sure, I didn't say anything because I didn't want to hurt your feelings. And I wanted you to have fun opportunities to connect with people through streaming. But it got to the point where you were spending more time streaming than trying to do anything to take care of yourself. You weren't trying to do anything with consideration of how much you're leaving my mom and me to pick up all the slack. I don't make enough money to support another person, and my mom doesn't either, and you've put us in debt.
It should show up in our.
You're not a pitiful person, Heather, but I would be ashamed of myself if I ever did that to anybody. I would be horribly ashamed if I put anybody in that position. I would be bending over backwards to ask, what can I do to help? Is there anything I can do to help? Can I fix this? Can I do that? Can I do anything to make your life easier because you have made my life easier?
I know, right?
That is the way I would handle things.
All right, and
Because I did go through a time
take
when I
all the
had no
time
money.
that you need.
And I had to
And
live with
anyone
my
else
aunt.
as well, if you need to take a
And I
break,
cleaned the house.
feel free to.
Yeah,
And I
I
took
know
care
it's
of
very
things.
heavy.
I did gardening.
Also, the
I did
Corvus safety. Go get my
landscaping. I
phone.
did
The
whatever
Corvus
I
hotline
could.
can be open as well.
I
if
went
somebody
on
needs to just
food stamps
talk.
so
Yeah.
she didn't have to
I can
provide
go
me
grab
with
my
food.
phone if need be.
And the food stamp organization in California made me move rocks in a park. 20-pound, 30-pound, 40-pound rocks in a park in order to be able to get food stamps, which I had technically already paid for through past through past jobs where money was taken out to support things like food stamps and Social Security. So I had to work double in order to even have food stamps. They might not do that in Vermont, I don't know. But I know how hard life is, Heather. And I know how hard it is when people tell you you're a piece of shit, which you aren't, by the way. And I will keep saying that you are not pitiful, you are not a piece of shit. You're irresponsible.
she's only saying that because on Twitter I had made in the post that I was being called like worthless, a piece of shit, and all that. That's why she's saying all that, like quote unquote that I'm not. Basically, I guess because she wanted me to know or something.
And you're too old to be acting like this. I'll tell you that. You're 23 years old, and I was 23. All I was thinking about is I need a job so I can support myself. And what do I do to get a job so that I can take care of myself? I don't understand why you think people should just accept that you can take advantage of them. And I don't even know if you really understand.
Corvus, do I take advantage of you?
My body.
I do not. Let it be known, I do not. He is happily married for 10 years. I do not. God damn it, Corvus. Someone's gonna take that literally, and it's not true.
It's not. I am happily married for 10 years. If you couldn't tell from our Epic the Musical reaction, I absolutely adore my wife. She loafs on the couch, and I'll just go in there, lay my head, just stare at her.
Yeah.
Cutie little patootie. Right now.
I'm time stepping that so I can take it back. I heard a yippee! Thank you for the
Yippee.
follow.
Why is
Oh,
your head
hold on.
huge?
Because, hold on, I need to get an OBS. Technical difficulties. Mayday, mayday. I'm here.
You're sure you're still off screen?
I'm here. There's a delay.
There you are.
It's just because I pressed 2 where I can zoom in and stare into your souls, and I forget about it sometimes. See, your promised comedy and sadness in my streams.
You also rewind that way the fuck back.
Maybe. Hold on.
Didn't have to provide me with
Chat
food.
wants to relive that again. I don't think you do either.
I don't. Hold on.
You're not a pitiful person, Heather. Life better for yourself. So you've been using me and Mom
Okay, I found the right place for it.
to keep a roof over your head. I took my computer from you because why should I let you have my computer if you're not even
I mean, it's slightly rewinded.
helping out with rent?
Slightly too far, but I mean,
You know, I should charge you for
Close
using
enough.
the computer as well, like a rental fee. Because that computer has stuff on it I need for my business.
let's just
and
be
you've
thankful
been
Frankie
keeping it
isn't
like
here.
it was yours.
Well, Frankie was here.
I don't.
And
think
sure, I
Frankie's
didn't
here.
say anything because I didn't want to hurt your feelings.
Oh, Indigo
And I
Misfit.
wanted you to have fun opportunities to connect with people through streaming.
It's so sad.
But it
That's
got to
okay.
the point where you were
Okay.
spending more time streaming than trying to do anything to take care of yourself.
I had to break up.
Before you weren't trying to do anything with consideration of how much you're leaving my mom and me to pick up all the slack. I don't make enough money to support another person, and my mom doesn't either, and you've put us in debt. You're not a pitiful person, Heather, but I would be ashamed of myself if I ever did that to anybody. I would be horribly ashamed
That's fine.
if I put anybody in that position. I would be
Don't worry, whatever I don't
bending
finish,
over
you can have as
backwards
your
to,
normal
to
text.
ask, what can I do to help? Is there
I'm
anything I can do to
responding
help?
to emotions,
Can I
I
fix
got to
this?
be a
Can I
good
do
one.
that?
Get out of
Can I do anything to make your
Yeah.
life easier because you have made
Also, I know that all of this is very necessary to hear, and I'm also sorry people have to hear this because it is heavy. I was crying on Corvus's lap because I was reliving all of my emotions that I originally felt through this. And as much as I wish I didn't have to listen to all of this, I kind of have to. But also I got to figure out how I'm going to get Belle's audio to work because it looked like it wasn't going to. But I may just save that and put it in the Google Doc or post it somewhere, because that is me actively having a full-blown panic attack after this initial 3-hour conversation. Oh. And you can ask Bell. I could not breathe. He had to literally be like, breathe. It is okay to cry. Because it was really, really bad. Anyways.
my life easier.
Huro's here to cheer me up.
That is the way I would handle things. Because I did go through a time when I had no money. And I had to live with my aunt. And I cleaned the house.
It will help me.
And I took care of things. I did gardening. I did landscaping. I did whatever I could. I went on food stamps, so she didn't have to provide me with food. And the food stamp organization in California made me move rocks in a park. 20-pound, 30-pound, 40-pound rocks in a park in order to be able to get food stamps, which I had technically already paid for through past through past jobs where money was taken out to support things like food stamps and Social Security. So I had to work double in order to even have food stamps.
Oh, hold on. Apparently, so for those who don't know, when I left the group, Aspen, Ocha, and all them banned me from their streams. Apparently I'm no longer banned from Aspen's stream. I can watch hers in real time now, but sorry. I know it's off topic, but it really just caught me off guard. Anyways, continue.
They might not do that in Vermont, I don't know. But I know how hard life is, Heather. And I know how hard it is when people tell you you're a piece of shit, which you aren't, by the way. And I will keep saying that you are not pitiful, you are not a piece of shit. You're irresponsible, and you're too old to be acting like this. I'll tell you that. You're 23 years old, and I was 23. All I was thinking about is I need a job so I can support myself. And what do I do to get a job so that I can take care of myself? I don't understand why you think people should just accept that you can take advantage of them. And I don't even know if you really understand how badly you're taking advantage of us.
Sir, you're echoing.
I don't know how
Shogun's and
I wouldn't be able to live
I guess he's
with
keeping an eye
myself
out
if
for
I
me in
was in your
case she says
situation.
anything.
Where you are right now would be my rock bottom. And
Air fryer?
I don't talk about this a lot. And I don't think I've ever really discussed this with you. But I have had suicidal ideation since I was a kid. I don't like to bring it up because
she's
I don't
only
like it
claiming
to
that
be treated, or I
because
don't like to use it as a weapon
told
against
her,
anybody.
I think hours
The reason I got
beforehand how I
counseling
felt,
was I was getting so depressed
wanting to
because of this
disconnect from God's
situation.
Wi-Fi server.
And I didn't want to
I
get
think I was
back to that
homeless when I
head
was
frame
23.
where I was
Were you
in when I was
homeless?
9, 10 years
No,
old,
that was when I was 17.
or
Oh.
even, dealing with what I was feeling, like a year and a half ago when my best friend
Sir,
pretty
my
much
model.
destroyed
Oh,
our friendships
sorry, I didn't
over
know any-
the publishing company
was
that she
thinking.
threw on my shoulders without really caring how much it affected me, how much responsibility it was.
Hold on. Okay.
I don't want to kill myself.
Sir, I'm gonna fall.
But those feelings happen. And the fact that you've triggered so many of my fears and my insecurities has led me to this point where I'm afraid that I will harm myself. And I don't want to do that. And that's why I'm going to counseling. But here,
Yeah.
you don't
She's
have
saying
to
all
do
this
job
because
corps.
her mom and me talked
know?
about it, and she heard it.
You don't
And,
have to get a job at Walmart. You can get a job anywhere. You're a good worker and you're not stupid.
Wow, did you know I'm a
The
good
problem
worker
is
when
you
I'm
have to
not
believe in
stupid, Clovis?
yourself.
I mean,
Because right now, I can tell you don't. Because you wouldn't be depressed and sitting around all day online looking for the next thing to distract you if you felt good about yourself.
I don't feel good about myself. I thought I did feel good about.
And I know you've been through a situation
Yeah.
where you've been through 2 years of somebody making you feel bad about yourself. You know? And it's hard to get over that. Going to Job Corps would have given you a chance to get counseling to get through that, Heather.
I don't
But sometimes,
want counseling.
especially when somebody's been abused as a kid.
First of all, not everybody.
Okay, so hang on a sec. Sorry. I'm gonna let you finish, but first.
Let me say.
I looked while we've been sitting here. The first time I heard the Job Corps thing, I looked it up. That looks sketch as fuck. Like it's 16, specifically 16 to 24, and it claims to provide free housing and like work experience and like finishing your high school diploma and stuff. Like it just seems super sketch.
And literally, I was turning 24 within weeks.
So it sounded like she was trying to rush you into it.
She was.
Yeah, that sounds even more sketch.
That's why she got mad when I was like, no, they said that if I plan on going to Japan pretty soon, don't even worry about signing up for it.
Yeah, that sounds super sketch.
And she actually had the guy who was in charge of it, I think, spam me emails and shit, trying to convince me to come back to it. So that also happened.
Ugh. Yeah, that just sounds sketch.
Who ironically tried to bond with me because his wife was from Texas. It was creepy.
Kid, it's so easy to identify as the victim
Right.
that you don't know how to turn from a victim into a survivor.
I've been a
And what I see before me right now is somebody who is a victim, not a survivor. And it's easier for you to make me the villain.
The grandpa thing,
Yeah.
it's related to your past with your
Yeah.
So I was pointing that out so you could
Oh no, I didn't
clarify
say that. Indigo said that.
No. I know. I'm saying so you can clarify why they brought that up.
Oh, yeah, because my relatives and my entire family basically are in of themselves like awful people, like would often like abuse me and whatnot. And then because I told her that fairly early on, because I thought I could trust said person with like emotional trauma and whatnot. And that's why she brought up her own family, which she would bring up almost every single day if I had a valid reason to be upset and she didn't like it. She's like, but my family was this, my mother, trauma, all this, blah, 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 over and over and over again. It got to the point where I could memorize her entire little speech by heart and would even jokingly recite it to Belle sometimes. Like, it was a non-stop broken record.
Sounds rehearsed.
Yeah, she would mention it every single time. You can ask Suki or Belle, any of them. It was over and over and over again. That's why I was dissociating so much. I didn't know what day was what because I just didn't want to be there anymore. And it was stressful.
And yes, 100% agreed, Indigo.
And take advantage of all the opportunities my mom and I have been trying to help you have so you can become a stronger person, so you can protect yourself, because the world's not going to protect you. The world is cruel.
I should probably know that better than anyone.
And unfortunately, you know, it's never going to be nice enough to make you feel safe. And anytime anybody says, sure, I'll help you,
Enough to make you
there's going to be a price. The price here.
Corvus, was there a price when you said that you'd help me?
No, I just said I couldn't help you get here.
And I already had that part covered.
I could pick you up from the airport, but past that, I ain't gonna be much help.
Because she's like, if anyone says they can help you, there's obviously going to be a price.
I mean, I guess I acquired a trauma bonded 24-year-old.
Yeah, I guess. Add me to the collection of
Yeah.
misfits you found. Like, he introduced me one time almost to the neighbors. She's the rescue!
Yeah, so okay, so a little backstory with where I live. So I have neighbors. I don't like my neighbors. I'm not a people person. Everybody if anybody knows me, they know this. Well, I'm not a normal person. Um but there's a pit bull or a Rottweiler, one of the two, that goes around the neighborhood. There's two of them. One I have no problem out of, and it's a big baby whenever I see it. It runs up and just whoop, whoop, but then like I turn and look at it and it rolls over on its back. The other one is very aggressive and started chasing and running up into the property after Heather. After going out and yelling and telling the neighbors that, it either needs to be dealt with or I'm going to shoot it.
And for disclosure, he has a sign, no animals were harmed in the making.
After they got the dog away and to its owner, the neighbors across from us came up, talked to him, and they saw Heather coming around the back, and they were like, "Oh, is that your wife?" And I'm like, "No, that's Heather. And I stopped myself. And then just busted out laughing and then explained myself and explaining that I almost called her the rescue instead of like, "No, this is my roommate, Heather."
Now, guys, I'm officially dubbed as either the rescue or his cousin, according to Family Function.
Yeah, family functions, you're the cousin.
And because I didn't know which one I was, anytime someone would be like, "Oh, who are you?" I would look at him debating on which one I should say.
You're the cousin. That way we don't have to explain shit as hard. Back to the
Pay rent and utilities and for your own groceries. That's a really reasonable price, Heather.
Which, as you've seen in messages, she never clarified I
Price
needed to
somewhere
pay
else?
rent, just
The price
the
with
stuff like the
Dustin
food and stuff.
was him raping you
Yeah.
and probably hitting you. The scratches on your arms. Him treating you like shit. That's not a good price to pay. And I'm glad you're not there anymore. That's no price at all. That's just abuse.
She loved pointing that out.
Asking you to
multiple
take
times.
adult responsibility and just
there,
pay
too.
for rent and utilities and for your groceries, that's not abuse. That's asking you to be an adult. And what I feel like right now is you're not even ready to be an adult. And I'm not your mom. And my
No
mom's not
shit,
your
I would want
grandmother.
it to be.
To be
So,
fair,
so
she
what were
does
your
not like her mom.
expectations coming here?
But as many
What
lectures as
did
she
you
gave me,
expect
it
of
felt
me?
like it.
And I actually do want an answer. What do you expect me to do that I haven't already tried to do for you?
Being nice.
I didn't really expect anything. Whenever Walmart didn't work, I was going to try streaming as much as I could to earn money. To help out.
Yeah,
Heather,
literally,
you're not-
that was my one goal whenever I couldn't work at Walmart or work anymore because my foot was injured. I was going to try to stream as much as possible because when Twitch was paying a decent amount of money, I was going to stream for as long as I can to earn up money and help her. And then she took that from me because apparently it's her stuff and wants to tax me.
not going to earn money that fast. Streaming, it takes a long time. It takes a really long time. I've been streaming for 3 months.
Also,
And I've
no. So I streamed for 3 months. On my 3rd month, I got affiliate, right? She got affiliate within her very first week and loved rubbing it in my face every single day for the rest of the time that I was there. She's like, "Oh, I made affiliate in 1 week. How long did it take you? 3 months? Oh, well, I think it's because I'm a world-renowned author and I have a degree and blah blah blah." This is how she treats people, not on camera. Like she's
barely made a cent. What made you think you'd be able to make $650 for rent and utilities from streaming? Most people who stream They have a day job. You have to do both until you can live off of streaming. Nobody makes money that fast in streaming unless they join a company. And most of those companies are pretty shitty. Like Hollywood is shitty and they still take less of a percentage from somebody's income for their jobs than VTubing companies do. Like it's literally
Yeah.
insane, Heather. Like, and I know this because I grew up around the entertainment industry.
Also, do you guys want to hear cat purrs?
You'd be lucky if you made enough money for rent to cover 1 month of rent and utilities here after 2 years of streaming. So it's not realistic. You have to have a job first. You have to have a job to pay for your own equipment. Because,
I don't know if you were able
you
to
know,
hear Kuro.
I'd always have needed that laptop back. Because it has important stuff on it. You know, did you think I would just give you my laptop? Well, what were you going to do then? Like, did you think about
Thank you, Natural.
what you'd have to do? Because not only would you have to earn money for rent, but you'd have to earn money for a new computer. And even my computer is you know, it's decent, but it's not as good as most streamers use. And that cost almost $2,000. So that would be like spending, gosh, about 3 months of rent, maybe more, in order to get a computer.
I think this is whenever Suki's audio cut out. Hold on, let me see. Yeah. So that's the end of this audio because apparently Suki went out and all that. But while I have let me try and find the audio. You know, I won't show that audio, but I will pull up hold on. What was I gonna do again? Yeah, I was also concerned for her because I would, you know, talk to her and everything, and because her mom is a very nice, sweet old lady, and just very, very caring, and unfortunately, Aspen is really not. Oh, right. I was going to show you all what my room looked like, which, by the way, back to OBS. Ba, ba, ba. This is what my desk looked like. So, does this look like it's broken? I don't think so. And then also let me find video. Oh no, that's the wrong thing. Alright. So I'll show you my room later, but this is October 25th, 2024. This is what Aspen wrote in her Discord server. I mean, in Rorschach's Discord server. And I guess I have to size that, so moment while I do that. Forgot that I made this absolutely humongous. Boom! There we go. Problem fixed. Crisis averted. We're back on it. So, I will read this. This is Rorschach's Discord server. And honestly, he did not deserve this. And you'll notice as I read it out, she tries blaming it on me by saying, oh, I asked her, she said that I should do this, blah, blah, blah. I did not. She took this upon herself because she got upset that he was still talking to me and not her. And she's like, I want to talk about something I spoke with Heather about today. I'm going to share some info and you can do what you can do what you decide you want to do. I'm going to try and share a little private information as I can about Rorsch because when all is said, no, girl, you can't have pizza, and done, I still care about him as a friend, and as far as his basic dignity for another person, his privacy deserves to be respected. Apparently mine didn't, even though most of it was lies from her. So months back, when getting to know Heather, it was clear she was in a very abusive situation. Rorsch and I worked for several months to get her out. That's why she ended up living with me. Rorsch and I put a lot of time into helping her be safe. Also, Rorsch has people at home he needs to look out for IRL. He has huge responsibilities to himself and others who have no choice but to be dependent on him. Again, I'm privy to a lot of this and I'm not going to give details, so please don't ask. He has also had to deal with people around the VTubing crossing his boundaries, even people he felt he could trust, which I will say, she's probably talking about me because me and Rorsch had a running joke. So when I was with him, I would like stay in like the lower basement of his house because like it was like a 3-story. And I would stay on the bottom part because whenever we came in, his family was already asleep and he didn't want to wake him up. So I was like, I'll just sleep in the basement and we'll be like hobbits. So the joke was I'm the little hobbit that came and stayed over for 5 days, right? When I was streaming, which I did upload the VOD to YouTube, Aspen on like out of nowhere was like, "Hey Heather, you know where Rorsch lives, right? Why don't you tell us where he lives?" And I was like, "I don't know what you're talking about." And Rorsch made it very clear that he doesn't want anybody knowing his personal life because of his family, and he doesn't want people finding him, all that type of stuff. And she just kept on. She was like, "Yes, you do. You stayed with him. You were the Hobbit. Tell us where he lives and all that." Just continuously doing that. And afterwards, Rorsch never talked to me again because Aspen told him that I had told her to do all that stuff. So that's why she's like, VTubing, crossing his boundaries and all that type of stuff. Even people he felt he could trust, and it's caused him immense stress. Yes, the Rorsch we know and love can be incredibly flirty, but he does have IRL relationships. I feel okay mentioning this because I know he's shared it publicly. Just because someone is in a poly relationship, it doesn't mean they're interested in casual sex with anyone. I know he cares very deeply for his partners. I also know that because he cares so much about all of us, he might have been more lax about his boundaries. And it got to the point where it was causing him a lot of stress. He also, due to issue with his model, had to shovel out more money than he should have to get things fixed. I've seen the model rigged, and while beautiful and mostly perfect, there are a few things I know he really wanted fixed before debuting, which he had an amazing model, but I also agree he was starting to get a little anxious about it because it just wasn't perfect and versus slightly a perfectionist. But I'm not here to talk shit about Rorsch. Rorsch is awesome. I mean, I'm not here to do that to Aspen either, but we see how she is. Not purposely trying to talk shit about her. It's just facts that are staring us all literally quite in the face. And basically, she just goes on to say, like, you know, I'm personally a little angry at him, partially because now I have Heather here and he was going to help. He's not. And my mental and physical health is starting to be affected by being overwhelmed due to finances and stress myself. I started therapy 3 weeks ago, which I really can't afford. But after having a week where I was crying every day because one of my dear friends, aka Rorsch, wasn't even talking to me. My mother has been in and out of the emergency room almost half a dozen times in the past year. Heather hasn't found a job she can keep. And we're trying to get her into a program that can help her, and the publishing company I co-own has been overwhelmed with work. All this is literally making me sick. My body has a much lower limit of stress tolerance than most do. People who are smart, what's this word called? Help. I didn't claim to be book smart. This word. Also, it's almost 4 hours. My brain's short-circuiting.
Pituitary.
Pituitary gland issue. Which, whenever she used to tell people I was giving her cancer and she was dying from it, all she really had was high cortisol, which I also have, and which was why we were all basically getting sick of each other because we were always so stressed out by the other person. Me more so because she was literally starving me on top of that. But anyways, I digress. Sorry, got a little triggered there. I feel like I've been left to clean things up for a lot of people. I'm going to stay here in the server because I know I'm modded, which she's not. She thought she was, but she's not. And can do some cleaning up where needed, but I'll not be posting here after this. If anyone wants to stay in touch, we have a Scuff Crew, which I named, by the way, because it was originally my idea, which she later changed to V Fable so she can post about her book company after she had me kicked out and undermined me. Discord for me, Heather, Ari, now known as Ultraviolet, and Ocha. Everyone's welcome here. Everyone's welcome to stay here as well. Just know that this is pretty much a dead server until Rourke comes back, and if he comes back. Like, you don't do that to in somebody's Discord server. Yeah. Like, oh, I'm not forcing you not to, not be in this server, but just so you know, it's dead anyways. Also, I need to go to WA and this uploaded. So I will come here. Minute, guys. So this is a video I sent Rourke and a bunch of other people of my room. My room stayed like this, and yes, you will see my bed is on the floor because Aspen would have made me stay those 6 months in this tiny chair right here. That was my bed for the first 2 months. That tiny little chair, and would have continued to bed if I didn't buy bed. See, here's my mattress. Yeah. That's just my room. That tiny itty bitty, like barely an office space that was mostly filled with her stuff. But she wanted to claim that, it was like trashed and there was laundry everywhere and mold and all that stuff. And let me try to find, hold on. The video Belle sent me again. Because I may be able to play that audio, and then again, I may not. It is pretty traumatizing. Because it's just me having a full-blown panic attack. But I need to gather it for... Or, yeah, he's... Because whenever I hover over this, it says this. Or I wonder if I could do it this way? Oh, I can't play it. Hold on.
Play that. Use an OLED.
Yeah. Oh, yeah, this is me full-blown crying, so I shouldn't play this. Or This is directly after her 3-hour conversation. What happened in her... It's me talking to Belle about how I'm afraid and that I don't know what I did wrong and all that. But I could just post that in the, thingy-majiggy. I mean, I guess I could play it. I do apologize in advance. I'll even turn it down because I don't want, like, fun, society stuff triggering more people. If we need a moment. Yeah, I guess that's true. Also, hey, look, it's me. It's my doppelganger. I have a book in hand. I'm just kidding. Yeah. I guess with that, we'll play the audio that Belle took directly after her laying it on me for 3 hours, which y'all heard 40 minutes of. And this is another audio. But it's me having an anxiety attack and me feeling bad about myself because I thought that I was a problem. I probably sound gross too. I was crying. Ew, nasal. As you can tell, I could not breathe. But you can listen to this. I don't want to listen to
I don't
myself.
want to listen. Oh, I look like a man.
No?
Oh wait. Yeah. Do I look like a sadist?
Also, to lighten up this very sad mood, this pizza's pretty tasty. I know, it's tasty. Two lovers.
I went from girl gender.
Because it was the tone that you said it in.
No.
This is probably when Bell messaged me because he didn't want to say anything, like, audio wise, because he was mainly getting this as evidence and he was just messaging. Take deep breaths and down and whatnot. I may, like, imagine being yelled at for 3 hours and you cry a literal hour because you feel like it's your fault. That's not gonna close. Pretty sure I say some things, I just don't know where. Oh, I know where this is at. This is the part of the audio where I suddenly jumped out of my bed and had to act like I wasn't crying because Aspen was right outside my door, on the phone with her mom being like, yeah, she's acting like she's like a victim and she's stressing me out, all this type of stuff. Like, she was yelling out in the hallway, which thankfully you can't hear. But yeah, I had to act like I was totally fine. Your crusty toes are.
Only 24, and I'm already having health issues that are.
Alright, hold on. Hey, look, Shogun's in here too. Oh yeah, that's right. He came because he couldn't get to me like automatically. Bell could, and so he joined in later on.
I almost died.
Cause while she was chasing me up the stairs, I was automatically like, somebody getting VC. I didn't realize that like it wasn't on. She's chasing me. I don't feel safe. So that's why I had an anxiety attack because like nobody was there to witness it.
Today.
Shogun's like, I almost died today.
Yeah, drove off the road. I woke up. My car was in the grass, and it was. I woke up. And I had to drift back onto the road, and now my car drive funny. I need to work. I need to work. I need to work. Regardless if it kills me, I have to work. Otherwise, I can't function as an adult.
Shogun's funny.
If I can't work, then I'm gonna have to really hunker down when I get all the parts for the PC. Because I'm only 24, and I'm already having health issues that are causing great changes to my life. Can you imagine just what I'm gonna be like when I'm in my 40s and the health issues get worse? I only think I genuinely don't think I'll make it past 50. With literally how my family health conditions are, I'll probably be one of the people who died in their 40s or late 50s. Well, my grandpa's side, most of his family members died in their 50s. Deathbed, the fuck.
Hey, I think that's just all the Shogun's just going on rants. But yeah, I cried for an hour. Beat my level, bitch. No, I'm just kidding. happened? I did turn it down because it was just me crying and whatnot, but that was all it was. I thought that I was saying things like audibly, but I wasn't. And so I just wanted to show that little bit since Bella did capture that. Then I will go back to the setting screen. Look, you guys can see yourselves. Yippee! Yeah, I mean, I don't know if I can think of anything else to add to it. I mean, I think that I pretty much discussed everything. Oh, what Aspen did to me, I've shown all my receipts. I played audio recordings that I currently have. I know Shogun has more audios, but his tablet is acting dumb and we currently can't get it. Also, Corvus did mention that I should just be silly and read into Aspen, but I don't want to do that.
I was joking when I told you. Know that.
I know, I thought I'd mention it to lighten up the humor. Since she is still streaming, but with that though, it's almost like 11 at night. I think I'm just gonna wrap it here. Like I said, I'll post this as a highlighted VOD on Twitch and I will publish it to yeah, don't send me this. And I'll publish this on YouTube too. But yeah, I think I'll also post I might also post the document as well as the link to the video because I'll put it on YouTube. We don't hate right here. Exactly! We're nice people! But I'll post that on my Twitch and Twitter and Blue Sky, the link of the VOD, and then the link to the Google Doc. If she sues me, this fox is going to court and the crow's gonna be my lawyer.
I didn't agree to this.
Too bad! And then the goes a witness, I'm just kidding. But with that being said, we streamed almost for 4 hours. Let's find you a place of happy excitement and just uplifting shit. And find somebody to raid.
I mean, I seen. Good boy.
Yeah. Ooh. Wow, really anybody's not streaming this late that I know. Know what? Does it
I
feel
mean, I
better to
think-
get it out? It usually does for yeah, it felt great.
Hang on. You need to ask his. Netro, are you still here?
Netro, you're being summoned by the oh holy crow himself. Yeah, like I said earlier, I want to thank you all for stopping by and just giving me the time of day to listen to
Yes.
it.
Would the El Lamadio
Cheer you up after
be
this
a
depressing
great
stream.
place to drop off this crying wagon?
Thank you for the hearts. Also, while we wait for a response, let me go ahead and put the raid message.
Wherever we go. Or the head pat's a yes.
Hydrate. I'll hydrate in a minute. But I guess we have our answer on who we're gonna raid. This is our raid message. Oh no, hold on. Don't click that. I messed it up. I forgot
Just
to put a
remember, if
space
you're
between
using
it.
any-
I'm not. They're just regular ones, I believe. But that's the raid message. With that, we're gonna raid over to Kenna Maria. I believe that's
V. Oh,
my man.
he just
V.
leaves the V off.
Yeah. But thank you guys for stopping by. It really means a lot to me. Tell my side of the story and people actually listen to me and not try to guilt trip me into feeling bad about it. But yeah. Thank you. I will probably see you guys either tomorrow or Friday. Because I believe I'm starting the job next week. Who knows?
We should.
Yep. But
We had days of no.
yeah. Just saying nice things to me. You're gonna make me cry. No, just kidding. I already cried enough today, but thank you. It's appreciated. Alright, I'm out of here. You've heard enough of this fox yapping. Bye-bye!